Welcome in. Welcome in. Of course, we chose the best time to do our first live stream here in Madden in quite some time, about an off season or two, as Madden has reintroduced slowy load screens. We're just going to have to deal with it today because, as the thumbnail says, we're getting back our legend. Cameron Scataboo is going to make his first appearance here in the new look format, which I am hoping we get through a good chunk with today. Obviously, if you watched the last episode, the season started off rough. We did not have Cameron Scataboo. He got injured in preseason, but we are still undefeated. A 14-point fourth quarter against the Philadelphia Eagles to win the opening game of the season, narrowly. And then we followed it up by another long loading screen and the Rams game, in which once again we put 14 points on the board in the fourth quarter to get the comeback there and ultimately win that game against the Rams. They went for a 2-point try to essentially close the game and failed. So we start 2-0, about to get our starting running back, which is a good segue as to where we are this season and decisions that we could all make together, as I plan on this series more often than not being live streamed until we wrap this all up. So a lot of decisions to make, a lot of your guys' input will be used in this series. So make sure, whether you are watching live or if you're watching post on YouTube, make sure you're commenting. Put your input in here, because all of these series we got on this channel is all based off of what you guys want to see. And speaking of want to see, a lot of decisions to make this year. Abdul Carter is up for a new contract. He's looking at about $114 million over 5 years. Now, we do have a lot of cap space, about 200. It's behind my head. It's 195. Cam Scataboo also is up for a new contract. He's looking for only $10 million per season, but when you tack on the signing bonus, it's a lot more. For Carter, his actual signing bonus does bump that up to $223 million. So some big money is going to come out if we do decide we're going to bring these guys back. I think we all want Cam Scataboo back. Let me know about Carter. Another reminder on house rules, though. If a player does not have interest in coming back, that means any red, whether it's all the way down like Alexander or up to the yellow. If it's yellow and beyond, we can negotiate. Red means we cannot. So Darius Alexander does not have any interest in coming back here, despite us developing him to be a superstar X Factor this year. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about the motivations. New Jersey is not a warm weather state, nor is it a no income state or income tax state. So there is nothing we can do to try to sway him. So after this year, we're going to have to find a new starter at defensive tackle. We might have options on roster. Kayvon Thibodeau's up for another contract. He's looking for a 2-year deal, in total about $30 million. Barrett Carter, he's also looking for a new deal. 3 years, about $33 million. Jackson Dart, he's looking for 3 years, about $75.5 million. But again, no interest, and there is nothing we can do to try to sway him. It's not close to home. And again, no income tax. Sorry, New Jersey's not part of that. And for those wondering why it's saying New Jersey, it's because you play in East Rutherford, New Jersey. They're not technically in New York, despite that being the name. Trevor Etienne, not interested. Marcus Mbo, not interested. We could negotiate with Corey Black, and I think we will. Joey Thomas, UDFA, not interested. Thomas Fedoni, he is not interested, despite us carving a role for him. He feels like he should be the starter at tight end. He came to us in the preseason and said, I should be the starter. He didn't prove it out there. He still stays a starter at fullback, which we use a lot. He's just not happy about it. We've got a lot of guys that seem to be on their way out. And this year will be some proving grounds for some other guys who could fill in their spots. Malik Johnson and Nathan Oliver both have 5th-year options available. But Oliver also does not seem to like it here. Can't see what his motivations are yet, but that's something to consider. But that is just the breakdown of how we look to open. As we go through the loading screens here, we will be jumping into a bunch of games. If you're watching post and just want to see that game action, feel free to jump forward. But we got some things to talk about here, especially with all of the players that are looking to potentially leave after this year. As a way to make things more difficult in this series, I also took all hands off the scouting. This is what the game, the CPU, gave to us. So it's focusing on edge, which we do have both edge rushers up for new contracts. So that part is good. But what you aren't going to notice here is either the expertise 1 or 2 having anything to do with quarterbacks. So we're going to be on the unlucky side of the scouting for these quarterbacks, which it looks like we will be having to make a draft or trade or sign a free agent. Now, in this class, they are up to 5 different quarterbacks who could be first rounder. Only 2 are top 5. Of those top 2, I don't imagine Amaro is going to be a scheme fit for us at 6'6", 234. By all means, he might be fast. If so, great, we'll take him. But Jonathan Sykowski, let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He potentially could with his size. We just don't know much about him outside the fact he could break some sacks. So some big questions here. We'll look to get some more information on that when we get closer to the offseason. But things to start thinking about, some ideas to start leaving down below if there's a certain quarterback you would like to see step in here in this series. On top of that, guys on our roster that could potentially take over for other guys. Jump in here to the actual screen, which is just now even slower. Always love how EA fixes one thing, but then ends up breaking a couple more. At the quarterback spot, we don't have a future starting quarterback there. Running back, we are good with Cameron Scadaboo. He wants to come back. I think we need to develop a little bit more here of this receiving group. Now switching to the sim style, Jeremiah Alexander did make his debut for us last episode. He's another hidden dev with potential of us having 3 superstars or better in the starting 3. So we're going to see what all he can get done for us today. As that third receiver, he doesn't see the field as much with this offense, but we're going to try to see if we could get these guys involved a little bit more just to get that development happening. We do have another rookie at tight end, DeMarco Hayden. Obviously, Theo Johnson left because he too just was not interested in returning here in this series with the low interest. The offensive line, I think, will be okay. It could be a situation that one of these guards ends up having to shift to a tackle spot. If Umbo, which I imagine he does, end up looking to leave, we drafted 2 guys that should see some playing time. So we have options there. Obviously, Tyler Tafoya shifting to center this year. We've had to shake some things around. The one spot we have not done well at in bringing talent, developing talent, is the depth at edge. So if we don't end up signing Thibodeau or Abdul Carter, we're going to be in for a rough spot. So if we could see a little bit more, if we break away in some games, I do want to get some of these young guys out onto the field. Alexander's looking to leave. Hunter Jones, can he finally step up here? He's been around for a couple of years, just hasn't really done a whole lot. He's mostly a run stopper with some finesse rush, which fits kind of similarly with Alexander. He just has the better balance. Obviously, Maurice Alakai, he has been an impact player for us since we brought him in from the Stanford Cardinal. Linebacker, we are very good at. We are 5 deep. Corner, we're going to continue to see how the CPU likes our setup. Obviously, Nathan Oliver is our guy. That 5th-year option means right now we only probably have a year and a half left to him before we consider maybe having to make that trade. Corey Black, does he play as well in the sim? Kevin Salmon, does he play as well in the sim? Obviously, we had to move Deontay Banks over to fill in a free safety spot that was wide open. Tyrone Heggie, how does he do this year? Well, with what we saw in the first couple games, again, last episode, our defense was one of the best, leading us to a 2-0 start, currently the top of the NFC East. Can we keep it up? The defense being ranked top 10 in all the major categories, but our offense outside the running game has been horrific. Can Dart step up? Well, we're going to start by jumping into this Cleveland Brown game. And primarily, I'm going to focus on the offense in this game and see how Cameron Scadaboo does. But before we do that, we do have to do the weekly strategy. As a reminder for those who did miss it in that previous episode, this year and moving on throughout the rest of this series, none of our staff abilities are going to provide any sort of boost for our players. It's specifically going to go to just XP, not their actual skill boost. The only skill boost that will be happening is going to be from the play sheets, which, if you were wondering, because I don't normally include these in my videos, for this specific offense, heavy sets and red zone passing is what we focus on offensively. For defense, 4-2-5 and batch O blitzes, because that very much fits more of the play calling that we do here. And then for the trainer and abilities, again, it's the same every single week. Unfortunately, didn't help Cam earlier this year, but the reduced wear and tear taken during games and reduced chances of practice injuries. As you could tell, though, by the staff points up top, I do not upgrade these. I only take what is naturally progressed or regressed. So that's what we're rocking with this year for the loadouts. And this time it did work. Okay, sometimes I think it stays every like 2 or 3 weeks and then it resets. So just make sure if you are doing the one for the staff that gives you extra focus players, every now and then you are going to miss that opportunity. Does look like we have a defender that is injured. So let's just check in on that as quickly as Madden lets us. Defensive tackle, Maurice Alakai is a bit banged up. I'm actually going to let him rest in this one. Confirm that. I don't like the X's confirm. What are we playing? Blah, blah. Wow, I was trying to do a roast and that just stumbled through. So I guess that teaches me we're not going to roast PlayStation. But that is the breakdown typically I do every single week for these games. We might change it here and there. If there's something you want to see again, let me know. We will change it up. But all we're hoping for here is no injuries. Trevor Etienne, we already know was out. Barrett Carter, we already know was out. So no new injuries as we do look to jump in to this game. Quick check on the upgrade players. Not an awful load screen. Drew Sanders has kind of got some of his playing time cut, seeing a little bit more of it back this year. Those who have been watching, which of the linebackers do you prefer? Obviously, Drew Sanders, superstar X Factor this year, which is why he's getting that playing time back. Didn't play great last year, which is why he got that time cut. Now he's got competition behind him, including Khalid Lashley, one of the players we took in that last class. Now, he is a Sam, so probably focus more so on the run-stopping side. Hidden dev, though. Pretty good balance there with 91 speed. I forgot about that. Wearing Bobby Okereke's number. We're going to go with the pass coverage because that is a weaker spot for him. Good boost there with the zone. Now, officially, we are ready to jump into that Browns game. Seeing the return of Cameron Scattaboo. Hopefully he is as dominant as he was for us in the play every single game, every single down situation we were in or format we were in. And for, again, all those that do ask, this is the playbook I use. Scroll all the way to the second to last one in the run. 2 backs. That's what we've rocked since the get-go. Defense right now, we are rocking Baltimore's. One of my more favorite of the 3-4s. Well, let's get on in, and with that, let's take my face out of here. We are at MetLife. Cameron Scattaboo's return is at home. Looking for a dominant run game and an offense that scores a lot more frequently than what we saw in the first 2 weeks. It's been a defensive grind for this unit. The Browns, they've had a new interesting head coach, some long flowy hair, but that's the coach we all know and love, Coach Barry Barrington. Bringing that Stanford mentality to New York, or New Jersey as the players seem to focus in on. Good news, we are returning. I do skip the returns, the kicks, all of that is up to the CPU. But we are going to slow things down here and jump in to our first offensive drive with Cameron Scattaboo back on the field. Looks like we got a weak eye. And it will be Cam. First play right down the middle, trying to grind through, but only finds a couple as a Browns player, Graham, shaken up on the play. I'm sure everyone held their breath there for a short moment, wondering if that was Cam. Good news, it's not. Cam does have a good rating for his injury, so shouldn't be too injured. As he takes a second straight carry, bounces off of one, stumbling around, but cannot find the space. Will be a 3rd and 8. We don't typically do too many runs to the outside. Gonna have to change things up here on 3rd down. 2 plus the tight end down to the bottom, 1 up top. Dart looked a little confused in the pocket, does find his rookie tight end, but for no gain. And it will be a 3 and out here. Our first drive with Cameron Scattaboo back. Not what we're used to seeing. No 30, 50 plus yard runs. A good punt though. But we are going to skip through a good chunk here of the Browns plays offensively. Again, focusing more so in on the offense for ourselves. Switch that up to the fast. Let's see what the Browns can do here. Already getting far more yards than we got our first drive, but a 3rd and 5 here. And it falls incomplete. Sanders throws it away. We'll get that ball back. And we're going to focus primarily plus side here. Can we get anything? Yeah, we're going to get 11. Cameron Scattaboo with the grab. 11 yards. And now a penalty comes in. Mason Graham returning to the game, but jumping early. And now we got ourselves plus side with Malik Johnson. So let's slow this down again. We're going to jump back in, see what the offense can do plus side. Do like, though, that the screens aren't running too slow while in game. The offense comes out with another weak eye look. Cameron Scattaboo right into the blitz, but somehow falls forward, still picking up 2 yards. That's why we like him. He'll be joined by Fedoni here with his hands down, though. Dart looking to throw over the middle and caught Malik Johnson. Just short of the line to gain, leaves 3rd and 1 at the 35. Browns know where we like to go here. They crowd the box, but we bring out the Maryland eye for Dart to try to sneak it, and he does not get it. Now, occasionally I would jump out here and make sure we go for it, but Coach Barrington has got us here. 4th and inches, strong eye look, and they read it the whole way. It's a turnover on downs. Schweschinger just read it beautifully. I don't know if that was even a blitz or if he just happened to know exactly where we were running. Browns shut down the offense back-to-back drives. So once again, we'll slow things on down here unless the Browns work their way inside the red zone, which right now they're marching, but a penalty will slow them down. Or actually, no, not a penalty. It's just a 3-yard loss on the carry with a gain of 5 to Jerry Jeudy. A 3rd and 8 at the 38. And this time it's knocked away by Sanders. So that should set up a punter. No, field goal, and it's blocked. We take over midfield. Is anyone going to get something done here? It does not seem like it in the first quarter. We'll jump in as we do have one play. That doesn't look good. Sending us back here. Yep, that is glitched. Seems like we're going to be watching the rest of this one. Gotta love that Madden is still broken. Well, Dart with the final play is tracked down. Give one more to Myles Garrett as we go to the end of the quarter. Would love to see here if it does allow us to exit, but I doubt it's going to. First quarter done and dusted quickly here with nothing being done on either side. And indeed, we are stuck on in here for the long run. Give EA big ol' thumbs up. No run, but we do fling it out to Scam. Scam? Wow. Cameron Scattaboo gets something there with a 3rd and 16. Can Jackson Dart handle the pressure that he's had to face early this season? Stepping up, he's going to look to run and slides down about 10 yards prior to the line to gain. Looks like that is going to be a punt. And we're going to be watching all the punts, the kicks, kickoffs, every little thing here. Because the only way to fix it is by leaving the game, and that we're not going to do. Bad punt with the roll going back through the end zone will bring out Sanders starting at the 20. I guess this will give us a chance to get a look at this defense then. Starting at the 20-yard line. It's going to be a tight single back look. Play action, rolling with a pitch forward. Put the ball's down. Jumping on it is Oliver. It's Giants ball down at the 25. Defense comes through with the turnover. Giants ball, and the defense has already done more offensively than the offense has all game long. It was Thibodeau punching that through the hands of, I believe that said Fran Jr. Oliver with the quick instincts to jump on it. Can we get Cameron Scattaboo his first touchdown of the season? We start 25 yards away. Just a little bit into the second quarter, and Cam is going to motion out to the top. Become a spread receiver. Fidoni the lone back. Throws up top. That's to Neighbors. Gets the catch, about a gain of 5 to 6 inside the red zone. The threat is growing here for the Giants at the 19-yard line. Play action. Dart going to step up. Throws downfield. It's caught back to Neighbors, setting him up inside the 10. Back-to-back grabs for wide receiver one. Newly named team captain as well. A strong eye here. It's Cam. He's got a lane, and Cam has the touchdown. First of the year, though many have come his way. Leading the Giants' NFL record for season rushing touchdowns as well as the NFL record. That gets us on the board thanks to Kayvon Thibodeau forcing the fumble. Nathan Oliver scooping it up. We will bring out the kicking unit here to tack on that PAT because, again, Madden broke, so we've got to watch it all here. Make it 7-0. And about a minute off the clock on a 3-play drive. And the defense show up yet again here. Deep boot, caught about the 5-yard line. Taken up center field and stopped around the 28, 29-yard line. Sanders had a really good play on that previous play that ended up being the turnover. Avoided the sack, flipped the ball forward. His receiver, or actually might have been tight end, couldn't hold on to it. Handed off to Judkins down the middle and is denied by Alexander. O does pick up 3 in the process. Good job there from the Browns line to get that initial push. It looked like he was stopped at the line. It will be a pass, so Sanders quick over the middle. It's caught. Judkins breaks 1, breaks 2. Will only find yet again another gain of 3. Can they find more than that on third? They're at the 36, need about the 39.5. Giants bring the pressure. It's picked up well, but Sanders throws it into the turf of MetLife. Defense, another stand. Browns will have to punt this one away. About 5.5 to go here. It's a good punt. Back to the other 18, slipping by one, but Hoffman not able to break away. Drags a couple of the defenders to the 25. And Cameron Scattaboo could come out finishing that last drive with a touchdown, though only averaging 2 yards a rush. That's very different than what we are used to with him. He'll be the deep back here. With a quick throw his way, a backwards pass that only gets back to the line. I do appreciate Dart trying to feed him, but maybe wait till he passes you on that. 2nd and 10 following no gain. High form and play action. Quick throw. It's to Fidoni, who does not hold on. Not going to play tight end if you can't catch a pass as a fullback. 3rd and 10 then. The bunch up top. Malik Johnson at the bottom. Dart will look to throw with a clean pocket. Goes up top and broken up intended for Malik Johnson on that deep crosser. He's looking for a flag, but that was a clean play by the Browns. Giants once again go 3 and out here. The punt is away. Looking for a good punt here. Browns catching it inside the 30. Good return, though, with a big hit. Sets them up about the 40. That was Lashley with the hit. The rookie mid-round linebacker who arguably should see some playing time as a true linebacker. Right now, the Browns struggling to get things going offensively. They'll come out with a bunch to the bottom, tight end to the top. Judkins not on the field. Gonna send Jerry Jeudy in motion towards the top. Sanders throwing up his way, and he's got him. First down, about a gain of 12. Very interested to see how this defense calls their own plays. We were a bit more zone heavy. Do they stick that way? The handoff here, a small gap and a gain of 5 goes Judkins. 7 rushes, 25 yards. A little bit of some hostility happening on the field. Some players shoving back and forth. But a heavy set here for the Browns. A little mug look from the Giants defense as well. Fake the end around, and it's going to be stuffed in the backfield. Andrews gets there first, has some help arrive in Corey Black. It's a loss of 2. Back to the 45. Browns, though, plus side, looking to convert 3rd and 7. Got a trips look up top. Giants bring the pressure, and it's broken up. Kevin Salmon in tight coverage there on Jeudy. Falls incomplete. Browns will send out that punting unit. Not a surprise they don't get a little bit aggressive here. A game tight. The 4th and 7, they punt it away and will get the Giants set up to go at the 11. Dart, not a great start so far. Cameron Scadaboo a little bit slower, but already we have scored more first half points than we have all season up to this game combined. And that's just by 1 point. For the 1st and 10, we start. It's Cam looking for some space, but he's not going to find it. Right now, the Browns defense is all over this running game. You can sense a little bit of frustration there from Cam, obviously missing the first 2 games of the season. Now not being allowed to run wild. Dart rolls, throws over the middle, and finds Neighbors. Gain of 8. And sets up a 3rd and 2 for after the 2-minute warning. Coach will have a little bit more to think about this one. 3rd and 2 does favor the run game. The run game has not opened up many lanes. It is a lighter middle, though, that the Browns show. Dart, though, looking to go to the air. Dumps it off over the middle. That is the rookie tight end. You're going to have to give me the last name here. Just turn around. It would be great. Should remember. Hayden, that's right. Hayden. He was our 1st-round pick. I should probably remember his name. But a 1st and 10. Blitz goes as they set up the screen. Good stiff arm there from Cam, but he struggles to get by the line of scrimmage. Even saw Coach Barrington's reaction there at the sideline. Dart took a good hit there as well. As we roll towards a minute to go here in the first half, all 3 timeouts still in the back pocket. Dart steps up, lost the ball, it's caught. There's the rookie coming across, Alexander. Talked about wanting to see a little bit more from him. Might need to see a little bit less sleeve action. That might just be slowing him down out there. The first timeout called with 1:01. Dart, good pocket here, has time to throw over the middle. That is back to Malik Johnson. And the Giants closing in on field goal range. Not seeing a timeout being called here. They'll let it roll on as the celebration occurs. About 35 and counting at the 39. 2 to the bottom. Dart will throw back that way. It's back to Johnson. He's got about a gain of 5. And the second timeout falls with 28 seconds to spare here. You are inside field goal range. Do we trust Dart to look for that end zone? 35 yards away, split backfield. Dart will look to throw. Only a 3-man rush. No, now he steps up. He's got space to slide down at the 25. Not seeing a timeout called yet. It comes a little bit late. They let a few seconds trail off that clock. They are inside range for a field goal. Field goals have been iffy for them over the last couple seasons. 26 yards from the end zone, and they come out with a weak eye. Dart drifting back, looking to throw. 3-man rush. Dart still struggles and eventually eats the sack with no timeouts. They're going to look to hurry back to the line here. You've got to clock this with at least a second to go here to bring out that field goal unit. 2-1. Ball hits the turf. They spare the 1 second. They bring out the kicking unit. Looking to make this a 10-point ball game at half. It's a 50-yarder that is good. Okay, you never know. Looked like it might have been just to the right of the upright. Even took the referees a moment there to decide, but we hit halftime here. It's a 10-0 ball game. We'll check on the rest of the league because, again, EA has made sure we can't go anywhere here. And how about the Buffalo Bulls? They're facing the Ravens. It's a pass down to the bottom. Turning upfield, Palmer shakes the tackle, and that's going to be a Bills win. Considering those two teams typically meet around the postseason, that could be an early separator this year as the Ravens fall to 1-2. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers, they travel to Dallas, looking to keep their perfect season intact. It's a handoff down the middle. Good block, getting shifty as well, cutting by 3 defenders. And it's a halftime lead for the Pack, 24-21. 2 touchdowns for Dak Prescott in that one. Only one for Love, but 240 passing yards. Meanwhile, the Houston Texans look to pick up their first win of the season, hosting the Titans. It's Ward on a keeper going up top by the 30. He's by the 20 with a little bit of lag, but not enough to slow him down. He dives in for the end zone and a halftime 13-7 lead over the struggling Houston Texans. By all means, take a look at the rest of these matchups. At halftime, Commanders up on Philly 22-17. That's a game to keep an eye on. But I think it's time we try to work our way into the second half. Or will it not let us even skip through this part either? Apparently not. Enjoy every single screen you see because EA ensured you will. There we go. Give us some stats. Something to talk about. Jackson Dart, 11 of 16. No touchdown, no interception. Cameron Scattaboo, 25 yards on 8 carries. That is not what we're used to seeing. And here we go. We can jump back into the sim. Thank you, EA. Just took us complaining a little bit here. Now we can look to try to get through this a little bit quicker. As the Browns are going backwards here. They only gain a net 2 on their opening drive and give it back to the Giants up by 10. And we start with a big play, 16 yards, Malik Johnson. Get us inside the red zone and we will jump back in. Well, I think that 13-yard grab from Jeremiah Alexander is close enough. Let's see if it works for us this time. We're going to exit that screen, switch to the slow here, and hopefully it all pans out for us. Cross your fingers, knock on wood. We're back in here at the 24-yard line. High formation for Cam. Play action, though. It's Dart. Stepping up to throw an interception. Looking for Neighbors, but instead it's picked off by Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah. I think I said that correctly. I had to track back in my brain for that name real quick. And he gets the pick. Jackson Dart has struggled with those picks over the last couple seasons, but that is just an athletic play. But I don't know how you don't see the man with the big helmet looming over the middle. Browns given life here at the start. And it does take us back to the menu, all right. EA might have figured something out here a little bit. And now they're getting the big play. Jaden Reed, formerly of the Packers, picking up 22 yards for Shedeur Sanders, who struggles to connect the next 2 plays, leaving 3rd and 10. No problem, gets it done. Back to Reed, a gain of 11. They're starting to pick up their play here, focusing in on Reed. Judkins loses 2, 3rd and 4, and they get denied. Thrown away again here by Sanders. Last time they tried a field goal around this range, it was blocked. This time, they choose to punt it away. Giants holding on to a 10-point lead here. But a 3rd and 5, leaving a 4th and 2 as once again, Cameron Scattaboo being stopped short. We'll let the boys punt that one away. Up 10 here, don't want to get too aggressive inside our own territory, especially with us not in complete control of this game. But we go to the 4th here, a quick 3rd quarter, as the Browns have been held scoreless so far, but work their way inside the 40. I think now's a good time to jump in here and see if our defense can pick up another stop. A turnover, some sacks, something to keep them off the board. Will be an empty set for the Browns. The 37. We bring that extra man, and they go with the tight end screen off of it. We're gonna lose 3, though. Tyrone Heggie all over that play. That's that Stanford intelligence right there. Another empty set here for Sanders. Bunch to the bottom. 4-man rush. Leaves the throw over the middle. Jerry Jeudy slips the tackle and has the first down. Browns at the 25-yard line. They have yet to find any points so far. Fourth quarter is the time to do it. Couple receivers down to the bottom. Heavier look. And now it's going to be a keeper. Shedeur Sanders, he's got a lead block. And Salmon, no, check that. It was Wilcox coming into the game. Helps force him out of bounds. But that was a big run. Could have been far worse, though, for the Giants. 1st and 10. RPO. Back to Jerry Jeudy. Salmon bit in too far. The speed separates. Jerry Jeudy gets the Browns on the board here in the 4th. These games are remaining low scoring. It's now 10 to what will be 7 with a made point after. Just inside 6 minutes to play here. Giants give up their first points. This is where the offense should have already separated come this point of the game. I guess we'll be watching this kickoff as well. Why not give us a good kick return here? We could use it, so momentum on our side. Hoffman looking to return, speeds by his blocker, and that's going to cost him some yardage. We'll start at the 23, and we might just sim a little bit of this drive as well. Just because we were stuck in for so long. See if we get plus side, we could jump in. But a 3rd and 8 penalty on the play. Myles Garrett with the late hit, I can only assume here on Dart, gives us the free 15. Follow that by a gain of 8. Can we get Cameron Scattergoo going here late on? That's 2 good runs as we do go plus side. Now, we're not going to fully jump into this game here. I will, however, come in and make sure we start to chew this clock. Just a little bit of some coaching game management here. But we will jump on out there. See if we can work this one down. Up by 3. Would love to find the end zone to help really separate. And it's going to be Cam down the middle, picking up another 5 yards. 48 in total on his return. Not the return we expected. Is this a sign of what's to come this year, or are the Browns just a really good run defense team? Only time will tell. It's back to Cam. He's going to grind out a few more. Browns start to call their timeouts. Never mind seeing their coach. The hair, too luscious. We don't like it. So instead, we jump to the wide screen. But a 3rd and a little bit more than 2 yards here. Dart does look to throw. Ansey in the pocket, throws another interception. Blanket coverage on Neighbors. He had Malik Johnson underneath, no problem. And on top of that, your starting tackle in Mbo is shaken up and is going to have to exit the field of play. That is devastating here. And it opens up the door for the Browns. Now, is it Dart that wants to leave? Or is it Coach Barrington that doesn't trust his quarterback? Is it a bit of both? Storylines to follow here as the Browns look to lead a 4th quarter comeback behind Shedeur Sanders. It's 10-7, should be the final play before the 2-minute warning. With a quick throw, a spin move, still getting away. I don't know how Reed keeps finding these plays, but it just keeps hitting for the new man here. As never mind a 2-minute warning there. I think the Browns, no, they did spend that timeout earlier, so I guess we just don't get the animation, but Reed in motion. Handed off, Judkins breaks through the tackle. That should have been a tackle at the line, if not a yard or 2 behind. Right now, Browns with momentum, closing in on their own field goal range. Field goal would tie it. Touchdown gives them the lead. Under pressure, though, and sack. It's Corey Black. Coach Barrington sent the slot corner blitz, and it's going to pay off massively. A 3rd and 19. Back at the 42. Shedeur getting his calls in. It's a 4-man rush. Stepping up, throws underneath, and Jerry Jeudy taken down quickly by Corey Black. This is 4-down territory. 4th and potential game here for the Browns. As they get back to it with a tight look. It's a deep drop. Sanders looking to step up in the pocket. Launches this ball deep downfield. Tight coverage, but it's caught. Touchdown! Browns get it done. David Njoku absolutely mosses the safety. And the Browns take the lead here in the fourth. The PAT would give them a 4-point lead. Wow. Who was in coverage there? Tyrone Heggie, normally so good at punching those ones free. Just got boxed out like a center in the NBA. The point after here to make it that 4-point ball game. Giants are going to have to find a way to find the end zone. Now, this is a situation in which I think jumping in makes sense. Not for us trying to have complete control of what happens on the field, but over the timeout usage. We've all seen how Madden handles that. The kick is away. Roseman will look for a return. Looking to angle back to the left-hand side and taken down at the 27. There will be 1 minute and 2 seconds. And Jackson Dart and this offense find a way, once again late in a game, to steal a game. Trying to stay perfect on the season. We need to try to open this defense up as well. The crossers we've seen have worked today. Malik Johnson, a big reason why. And we're going to set him up on one of those crossers here. Going to move Alexander to the left-hand side. Neighbors with some press coverage that way as well. Low pressure does get back. That was Graham. Almost a free rusher straight through. That's not what we need to have. Obviously missing one of our tackles, but he's on the opposite side of the line. So 2nd and 10, first play. Does not avail for us, so Dart will scramble forward here, get what he can. First down at the 39, and he's going to look for some hurry up. We have all of our timeouts, about 45 seconds to work with here. It's set back up. Dart steps up, he throws, he finds Malik Johnson. He's by the 40, taken down at the 35, and the first timeout is called there. Once again, the mid-crossers opening up this Browns defense. We'll give Dart some credit, too, keeping his eyes downfield. We need that end zone. Just under 40 seconds to work with here. Split backfield. Dart, once again, surveys, throws, back to Johnson. It's another first down. And again, we're going to see them go with that hurry up. At the 23-yard line, Browns giving up a lot of space here. As they look to set up the screen, blockers in front for Cam. As he looks for that end zone, he's shoved out at the 2. Coach will call a timeout there. One more remaining, 18 on the board. And all of us can take a much-needed breather here. We got to find that end zone. And there's a particular play I would like to find. That's pretty close. Looking for some spacing concepts here. Fedoni, this could be your shot here. Might even have to go to Hayden. We're going to find out. With 18 seconds to play. And the coverage is good. Dart will just do it himself. With 15 to spare, Giants yet again look to steal a game late in the fourth. The passing game struggled up to that drive. Dart finally put the passes where it needed to be, and they make it happen. PAT to make this a 3-point ball game. Cleveland does have make that 2 timeouts. But the kick here is good. 17-14. And we will look to slow things down here to the end of the game. That means the Browns could find themselves with a big kick return. We just saw what Sanders and Njoku did on that last drive. By no means is this one over, but we're not giving them a chance to return that ball. Instead, we give them the 35-yard line. Field goal ties. Touchdown. Might just win it. Sanders throws off his back foot, intended again for Njoku, but it hits the turf. Cade York, his long seems to be about the 43-yard line. So they're close, not quite close enough, and never mind the 43-yard line being shown here. That is false. Check down, and a good wrap-up. Andrews leaves 6 seconds left. One timeout to spare here for Cleveland. Do they look for a quick hitter? Set up a shorter Hail Mary? Do they go for it all here? Sanders chucks this one deep. And it's almost caught Jerry Jeudy, but tipped away. The Giants somehow remain undefeated. 17-14. We had to jump in there, look to just control clock, and that we did, but Dart finally stepped up, threw some good passes. We took advantage of what we saw worked all game long. Cameron Scattaboo, not much to show, though, for his first game back. We'll look to see how this team can do as we look to add on to that game. And look to go through some menus together here as we are live. If you are enjoying, make sure you do leave a big old thumbs up for these guys. Stick around. We're going to look to do these live streams probably weekly, depending on the schedule. That can change. I will always let you know. But we're going to give Malik Johnson that physical upgrade because that is what he does best. Those crossers were great for him all game long. And Jackson Dart, we're going to continue getting that we just need him to be a manager out there. Just don't throw the game away like he almost did today. Those 2 interceptions, very, very costly. That is nothing new from what we've seen from him. But as we are back to the main screen here, why don't I also look to bring myself back? Hey, how you doing? We'll get on to the next week here, and this is a rivalry game, a division game, if you will, against the Commanders. Meaning I do want to make sure we are checking into this one. I think this will be one that we do look to skip through rather quickly, though. We're going to go through more of a quarter sim out the gate, get to that fourth quarter, see how we're doing. But right now, we've got ourselves... Oh, wrong button. There we go. We've got ourselves a little bit of some competition. And I believe this is also Fedoni. It is. What happened out there, Coach? I thought I was going to get those snaps. Well, you dropped the ball. We never felt comfortable making the switch on game day. Simple as that. Well, Fedoni, that's not going to help us out in trying to keep him around. I'm sure that means he's just going to want to leave even more. And we might also get some sort of negative effect with that, but we're not done yet. Rookie OTAs. Now, I skipped these in the last video because it kept bringing up Andrews, our second-year linebacker. We're going to see if Madden's still broken here. And Q Andrews. Yep, there he is. I don't know how it's this hard. Just get up to speed quickly because you've been starting for a year and a half. Madden is what Madden is here. But like I mentioned, we're going to look to get through this Commanders game a little bit quicker. All depending, though, on how the team does. They are behind us in the division. 2-1. Same with the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles do start 1-2. Right now, we actually drop out of first. That's interesting, as we held that beforehand. Like and likes would be the same, but Detroit takes the number 1 spot from us. We would like that back. So why don't we get ourselves through a quick... Yeah, see, every now and then, they reset. I don't like that. Stop resetting things on me. I wish there was a way to just lock it in. That would be nice in the next Madden. Like I said, this year we're not using any of these. We are simply going with player development. And what was that first one? Was that the... We don't need the training camp. We'll do some cornerback, some D-line, especially if we need some other guys to have to step up there. The running backs don't need it. Linebackers do need it. And there we go. Just wait for the menu. There we go. Okay. Make sure the run game, the playbooks are all set, and then we'll jump into another game here. Again, try to get through those a little bit quicker. Just had the unfortunate glitch in the first one that did slow us down a little bit. Again, we're going to try to get through as much of this season as we can. We will straight sim through some games as well. Yep, figured I hit the wrong button there. Hopefully it saved everything. Just have to wait through these screens a little bit longer. Or maybe not. There we go. At least college football doesn't have these problems. Would you guys like to see a game or a series similar to this in college football? Do let me know as we check in on the health here of our offense. Maybe. Hello? There we go. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Who is banged up here? That's right. Mbo got a bit banged up. He is definitely still banged up. We'll keep him on rest. Everyone else seems to be good to go. So we'll go ahead and simulate that training and look to get on into game number 2. But as we are waiting for all these screens to go through, let me know what you guys think of the Super Bowl. Who's the winner? What is your score predictions? I'll put it out there. I think Seattle is taking it. I don't think the Patriots are as good, but we're going to find out. Because any given Sunday is a saying for a reason. You never quite know. One more thing to do here before we get into game 2. A little bit more, actually, with all these upgrades. Mike Andrews getting the boost here. Sam linebacker. Would like to see his coverage continue to improve, so that is where we are going to go. And he does actually get that cover boost. That is another thing I've been a bit disappointed with in this year's Madden, more specifically when upgrading your defensive line. A lot of the times I will focus on guys being, as we have Maurice Alakai, a power or a speed rusher, and I select those to only get the upgrades for the opposite, which is a little bit annoying. But for him, we're going to go nose tackle, especially if he's going to be taking over that nose tackle role. Would have loved some block shedding, though. But instead, he gets that +3 to play rec, which we will take. That'll always help out. DeMarco Hayden, I believe his first upgrade here. We'll have him upgrade that possession. Very close between the possession and the vertical threat, which is kind of what we were looking for with our tight ends. So Coach did a great job hitting on that selection. Would have been great, though, if he was a hidden dev. Instead, just normal. Those other two, those can auto upgrade as they are backups and always will be, at least on our team. But I think we're good to go here. Nothing to do besides jump on into another game, which we'll look to play the full, but technically we're going to be jumping through with that sim. So once again, I'll take my face off of here as we look to jump into game number 2. First time taking on the Commanders this season. Get our offensive set. Let's jump in. We are on the road to Landover, Maryland, where the number 2 team in the NFC East hosts the number 1 team. For Major Tutty, he would love his Commanders to step up today and give them that opportunity to take the first spot. Last year, this conference was all up for grabs until late on. Giants pulled it off. They've won the conference 2 straight years. I'm sure those division rivals, well, they did win the conference, but they also won the division 2 years in a row. The conference 3 years in a row. And I'm sure those division rivals would love to take their name off that plate. As we look to get this one underway, looks like it'll be defense first for us. But as mentioned, we are going to look to jump through the first couple quarters here. So we're just going to see how the game flow goes. Washington does score first, and the first quarter comes to an end with that 7-0 scoreline. Into the second quarter, Giants get that score. There we go, tying the ball game up. A good bit of back and forth takes us to halftime. We'll get through the third as well. And driving, but coming up empty-handed. Looked like both sides, but someone's down to the 21. Let's look to slow things down a little bit here and finish off this drive for who I sure hope to be the New York Giants. And indeed it is. Giants just outside the red zone. Cameron Scattaboo dotting that I. We went from being one of the highest scoring offenses to one of the lowest, but Cam working that 85 speed down to the 5. We are a threat to take the lead for the first time today. About 8.5 minutes to go in this game. It's Cam. Commanders ready for him, though. Stop him about a yard behind the line. Might need to shake things up a little bit here down in the crunch area of the field. Dart trying to look to throw here. No one's getting open. He throws almost a gimme to the Commanders. I don't know what he's thinking on some of these throws, but the decision-making has been awful. Third and goal, Commanders bring the heat. It's a screen, and Cam can walk on in, or trot on in. He made sure he got there before any defender could reach him. And it's yet another fourth quarter lead for the Giants. I would sure love to start pulling away in these fourth quarters rather than keeping it close, though. We'll bring out the kicker to try to make this a 14-7 lead. You never know. That one is good. A 14-play drive as well. They drove 85 yards. And once again, we'll look to get into the sim here. See if the Commanders find their way into plus territory. McLaurin starts with a gain of 6. Forward to Brian Robinson Jr., and it's a first down for the Commanders. Tank Bigsby with them as well. A sack, though, comes in from Thibodeau. A 3rd and 10. And they're going to get 8 of it. Now, I imagine they look to go for it here on 4th. So why don't we look to slow things down for this play? They do actually have the punting unit out there. Okay, I mean, about 6 to go here. Let's see if we get a good return at least. We're going to watch. I would like to have it be for a reason, but it looks like it's because we're going to be jumping in down at the 2-yard line. A long field ahead here for our Giants, and indeed, we will stick with them. But before we take the field, let's turn on that chew clock. I don't know if we ever turned that off on that last game. We got the long drive we needed. I think with that still turned on. So that's huge. But now we need the line to show up here. This is Cam's spot. No, they go Fedoni instead, as he's going to pick up 4 on the fullback dive. We told him he's not going to get the shot at tight end. He's had plenty of opportunity to still catch the ball at fullback. He gets the handoffs. You're unhappy, there's nothing we can do about it. But it's Cam breaking off 1, but it's going to lose about 3 on the play. Back to the 1-yard line. And we'll be snapping that ball basically standing in our own end zone. Bring out 2 fullbacks here to help try to lead the way for Cam, who nearly splits the defense. But a 4th and 3, that looks to be a punt. And it was Holland there, actually our former safety, making the stop to save the day here for his Commanders. That's a storyline I almost forgot about. Now, how good of a punt do we get here? It's not good at all. Colin Farrell, I'm pretty sure a rookie. Commanders starting plus side. So that means we're going to be jumping out here. Up a touchdown. Trying to hold on to it. Just under 4 minutes to play. Commanders have the ball at the 43 plus side. With a bunch to the bottom, 1 up top. Make that an empty set, a diamond to the bottom. Daniels quick throws over the middle. At first, I didn't see the tight end there. I thought that was going to be a pick. Instead, Commanders get the gain of 5. And they stick with an empty look. Trips to the bottom. Daniels a little bit antsy in the pocket, but he still finds McLaurin on a quick check down. And a first down to the 25 here for the Commanders. We move inside 3 to play. Commanders looking to tie this ball game up with a handoff. Going nowhere. Sanders meets him in the backfield. It's a loss of 1. Good job up front as well to open up the lane there for the linebackers to do their job. A 2nd and 11. 4-man rush. Daniels looks to step up. He's got space. And Salmon will drag him down following the gain of about 9. It's 3rd and 2. But we'll have to pause up there at the 2-minute warning. Commanders looking to tie this thing late. I mean, Giants this year just have not been able to separate in these games. Everything has been close. Defense doing about all they can. Quick throw to the tight end. Sets up goal to go at the 9. I think that's a bit of a bad spotting. Actually, is closer marked to the 8.5-yard line, we'll call it. With a handoff and all over it. Maurice Alakai blew up the guard and blew up the run. Pushing him to the other side of the 10. It's now 2nd and goal Daniels empty set. Thibodeau working around the edge, but he finds his tight end, yet still breaking one. Down at the 4 and a timeout called. 1:02 on the clock. A third down. Commanders have to find a way to get this ball into the end zone. They've got 2 more downs to do it. An empty set for Daniels, bringing the quick rush, and he reads it like a book. He went to his tight end time and time again. That is Cade Stover, formerly of the Texans, getting the job done. The point after here to officially tie this game up. It would be 14-14 with a minute to play. And I think Coach is going to let his guys figure it out. We're going to exit from that sim spot there just because we're not going to focus much on the return aspect of things. But watch the line go all the way here. Or it's a touchback. We will start then at the 30. Once again, we'll slow things down here. Jackson Dart, can he get it done 2 weeks in a row? A field goal is enough. 56 seconds is the official time. 3 timeouts, and that ball ricochets off the head of Hayden. And former player for Coach Barrington down on the field, that is Nathan Henderson, a former Heisman winner. He has battled with injuries throughout his career. That's a really unfortunate spot to be for such a prolific collegiate player. The 2nd and 10 here. Dart's first pass was awful. They go quick again here, looking to get Neighbors involved as he finds about 4 yards. Never mind seeing where Tyler Bass needs to go, the new kicker in town this year. The 3rd and 6. Going to be from a shotgun look, split backfield. Dart taking a lot of time here. It's a delayed 4-man rush that gets the tight end open. There goes Hayden as he's out of bounds about the 40, flipping the field for the Giants. Now you consider those 3 timeouts just trying to set up a field goal here. But it will be actual handoff there to Cam. Breaks through 1 tackle but does not break away. Now that play action got me. It did not look like the ball was in the handoff hand there of Dart, but somehow Scattaboo got it. I don't even know how. But 2 timeouts remaining, and the Giants were looking to bring out the field goal unit there. It does cause a timeout to be called of the Commanders, as Coach looks a little bit confused. And just as confused as I was, I'm going to make sure we're stepping out here with the offense. We've got 2 timeouts. That would have been around a 55-yard field goal. So Cam, take this handoff, get downfield, and how about you set up an easier field goal attempt here for us as we look to walk this one off. Timeout called, Coach, with 1 second to spare. And no, I will not be kicking this field goal. That is for sure. We're going to look to slow things down here. It's going to be up to Bass, and I'm sure the Commanders might look to ice him here. Kicking this one from the 38. It's a 48-yarder. Bass put everything he had behind that one, and the Giants once again, with time running off the clock in the 4th, find another win. 4-0 could just about as easily be 0-4. But Coach Barrington just keeps finding a way, and that's all we need him to do. I mean, if you won 3 national championships and 3 Super Bowls in a row, clearly you know what you're doing, and he's putting all trust in his players to make it happen out on that field. Though from our side, if we could find a little bit more points, that would be great. But as we polish off about the first quarter of the season, can't complain too much about being 4-0. Can't complain about the loading screens. But now I think we could jump through a couple weeks here rather rapidly. So in doing so, let's make sure I got my light on. There we go. And boom, bam, I'm back. How are we doing today, everybody? Are we enjoying how are we liking this new aspect to the Giants series? let me know. But we are going to move on to the Lions week. We're going to check in to see what they're looking like. And if we want to maybe jump in and just sim while in the game, or if we are just going to straight up sim by the week. If they are a struggling team, that is what I imagine we do. They are 4-0. So they're definitely not struggling. That's right. We just went over that whole, they took the one spot from us. Now we take it back. I think this is a game that at least we've got to jump in and watch how the sim portion does. Maybe get on in again to another fourth quarter. So let's keep it on rolling. And while I would consider trading Banks, we don't have the other options at free safety. So probably should look to take him off the market. We're not even going to look at what the offers were. Apologies if you did want to actually see that. But let's try to get set up here. Did actually keep it. That's what I like to see. Should just, again, give us an option to lock that in. Just make things so much better here for us. Get the defense set up. Get the offense set up. I see what they were going with this. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know if you guys are a big fan of it or not. And again, the X as the advanced screen is just confusing. But everyone seems to be healthy for this game, so we are just going to straight on get through that simulation. Hopefully we stay healthy for arguably one of our biggest games so far of the season. Our defense has been the heart and soul this year. They've kept the games low scoring. The offense has not found a way to score. Get that offense moving here. This offense could do some real damage. Still waiting on Barrett Carter to return. But we do get back ETN. So we have a full backfield now. And a lot of upgrades here. Nathan Oliver, you are up first. And we're going to go with zone because the style defense we run should be called more so with the zone. Obviously, we do still run a little bit of both, though. Would love to find a way to get him to stick around. He's such a good corner. Jeremiah Alexander getting his first upgrade here. We're going to keep with the physicals. Typically, with this offense, the crossing guys, the slot receivers, they're running those crossers. So, keeping with that physical, I think, is a really good big body slot. Heard that term. I think that works very well with this offense. Don't know about those sleeves. We might let the rookie rock it for 1 year, and then we'll make our decision. Get these offensive linemen, backup guys upgrading as well, because who knows, they might need to take over sooner rather than later. Hidden Dev and Carl Hill. Where he's getting snaps, I'm not sure. Probably special teams. Get another power upgrade here for Ethan Brink. Do you guys remember that, I think it was called Brink, that Disney movie, maybe late 90s, early 2000s? There was like they were skateboarders, but like skaters. Another Hidden Dev, by the way. Really good draft class there. Pretty sure it was called Brink. Let me know down in the comments if you guys remember that one. It might just be a weird thing with my brain. Also, how many of you are even original Disney Channel movie kids? I mean, I could see a little bit of, you know, the analytics of what age roughly people watch. But I wonder how many truly were Disney Channel kids, or were you Nickelodeon kids? Am I just providing filler here for these long loading screens? Maybe. Trying to get to know each other a little bit here. A little bit of some chat back and forth. Come on, Dalvin. There we go. Almost through. We're almost to the big game. So close. Probably could have just done some automatic upgrades for a couple of these guys. Not too sure if any of these depth rushers, though, are going to get the chance this year with how the offense is playing to see that playing field. Okay, good. We did make it through. I was getting a little bit worried there. Started to chug a little bit. Speaking of chugging, no drop frames. That's what we like to see. So we like to see our Giants finally pull away in a game. Let's see if we could get that done against the best team other than ourselves in the NFC. As we jump into yet another game, I will yet again bid you farewell, at least visually, as we go on our second straight away game. Also would love if we could just set the playbooks too. Just some little things here, EA. I would really love it. What's up, KV? And again, let me know what you guys think about taking this series live. I think it'd be a good way for us all to interact and help building this team's future for as long as we go, at least to the end of Cameron Scadaboo's career. But to Detroit, Michigan, where we've got the top two teams of the NFC set to face off in a head-to-head battle for that top spot. Right now, the Giants are just squeezing by in their games. Defense is leading them. Offense has been rather lackluster. Meanwhile, the Lions have always been about a showy offense and a big hitting defense. Will we see them take the field, though, as we do look to just jump on forward here? We're going to stick with that fast. We're going to once again go quarter by quarter. And the first quarter rolls through with a Lions lead, 7-0. Yet again this year, the Giants do not get any points on the board in the first quarter. As we start the second, now they find their touchdown, but give up a field goal drive to only tie it up there at the very end of the first half. It is 10-10 here in Detroit as we get to the third quarter. And a long couple drives there to end up with nothing. A short field, and at the 21-yard line, it's a 3rd and 15. KV, what's your prediction for the Super Bowl? I'm going Seahawks all the way. Slow things down here. We're going to jump on into the start of the fourth quarter. Lions looking to take the lead. KV, what is your predictions for the Super Bowl? The 21, Goff. Pocket throws to an open target. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown, shoved out at the 1-yard line. Nearly a one-play wonder there for the fourth quarter. Instead, they'll have to go one more, but it is enough for them to reclaim that lead. Gibbs makes it 17-10. And some work to do here for the Giants yet again in the fourth quarter. This time we're not going to watch that PAT, though. We're trying to get through these a little bit more rapid because we have kind of slowed down a little bit here. We're trying to get through a massive part of the season, if not all of the regular season. A first down run, Cameron Scadaboo, that's what we like to see, and Neighbors pops up for about 30 yards down to the Oppo 29. Now we could slow things down and jump back on into this ball game here. Really want to see this offense take that next step. There is plenty of talent. It's a handoff for Scadaboo as he finds the lane. A gain of 8 as an injury timeout comes in. That doesn't look too good here for the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson taking the lay down on the field. Looks like it might just be some cramps. At least that's what we're going to hope, getting some hydration and stretching in at the sideline. We've got a 2nd and 2 with a weak eye. It's Cam cutting strong side, breaks through for the first down, but cannot break through the following 2 tacklers. As now we've got another injury. That is our starting guard in Morgan. So a couple guys getting beat up here in a big game. That's going to bring out one of the rookies. Is that Brink? I believe so. Call him the skater boy. Is this going to be a pass here from Dart, who steps up, throws back corner, but overthrows Cam. Did look to be in double coverage, though. A 2nd and 10 here with I form at the 16-yard line. It's a weak side stretch. Cam with a truck stick and then gets trucked himself by Campbell. I'm not sure much of anything was gained on that one. The 3rd and 6 does await, so there was a gain of 4. ETN back in the game here. It's a loft to the back corner of the end zone and in and out of Neighbors' hands. Boy, he got some loft up there, though. A 4th and 6. I don't trust the CPU to go for it here, and I feel like we should. So why not? We're going to try to jump on in here. And I'm looking for a specific type of play. I want shotgun, bunch right-hand side. And I'm looking to leak out Hayden, our rookie tight end. 4th and 6. Got to get the job done here. As we roll that way, throws though backside, and it's just tipped away by Branch, intended for Neighbors. What a clutch play from the safety of the Lions as they hold on to that 7-point lead. That is massive for them. Absolutely massive, and so close to being good for us, but not quite. Lions lose 3 on second down. It's a sack from Maurice Alakai. Taking a quick moment here to respond to you guys as we got a prediction 38-21 from, having to lean in here to see what it is. That is a very long name. Tiffany and Anna, I'm probably going to butcher some of that pronunciation, but 38-21. And then KV coming in with 38-26. So Seahawks looking to score 28 points. And MVP, you got Darnold or Walker. Yeah, I could see it going some way that way. I know the Seahawks, they're going to put up some points. That is for sure. It's going to be up to our defense to get another straight sack. This time it's Thibodeau on a 3rd and 17. We do give up 10, but we do get that ball back, about 4 to play. And we will slow it down there. But I think it's going to be up to the Patriots defense. Entirely, it's going to be up to what the Patriots defense decides to do. I think the Seahawks defense is a really good matchup against the Patriots offense. But a 1st and 10, starting back at the 25, failed their last time from inside the 10, and this time they start going backwards. It's Branch again. As a Minnesota Vikings fan, I've seen enough of Branch. With a 2nd and 12 here. With 2 hands down in the backfield. Scattaboo, though, going to stand up and motion down to the bottom. Make it a slightly spread look here for Dart. As he does throw up top to Hayden, who can't squeeze it. And 3rd and 12 as the bells toll here in Detroit. Dart dropping back. He's got time, but he does not have a receiver to throw to. Braden Rankins gets back there for the sack. And it's going to be Lions ball around 3 minutes to play. That's brutal. We'll see them punt this one away, and then we'll jump back in to see what the defense has to say about it. Giants have played everything late, and it's might be costing them here on the road. What we need to force is a turnover, fumble, interception, something along those lines. The Lions start back at the 29. Goff does look to throw here. Up top, but a quick throw is caught. 1st down, Amon-Ra St. Brown with a little bit of flair there. A 1st down at the 41. With a quick throw into congestion. That's where someone's got to come away with a pick 6. We will take away the knockaway, though, as it does stop the clock. 2nd and 10 with 2:40 to play. An awkward bit of motion there makes it 3 receivers in a diagonal. Goff still looking to throw. He goes up top, and Gibbs escorted out of bounds with a quick tackle coming in. Though it looks like he did not actually be called out of bounds, so coach has to call a timeout there. Trying to preserve a little bit of some time here prior to the 2-minute mark. He's 3rd and 11. Got to get the stop here with a throw up top, and will be stopped short. Timeout 2. That'll leave the 2-minute warning and 1 timeout for the Giants to try to tie this game late in the 4th quarter. Can they get a good return on this punt to set them up? It doesn't seem to be that strong of a boot, but it does get back inside the 15. Hoffman will get what he can. And will be an 83-yard field for Jackson Dart to try to tie this ball game. A lot of pressure here on a quarterback who has not handled pressure all too well throughout even our time playing every single snap. But he did still win 3 Lombardis. We need that quarterback to step in here. As it's Cam down the middle, break that tackle. You've got some space. Instead, it's a gain of 2, and they're not going to get back to the line in time here. Their free stoppage comes early in the drive. Now they've got just 2 timeout. Check that. Now they got just 2 minutes, 1 timeout. About 80 yards to go with a quick throw. It's underneath to Neighbors. Gonna pick up some. And already our first 3rd down here. It's I form. Dart dropping back. Spinning, rolling up top. Throws it to Cam. Couple of defenders in front of him, and they get the clean tackle. It's Joseph. Now we have a 4th and 2. A big down here, Giants. Their perfect season on the line, and it's a loft downfield. It's intercepted. That is your ball game, and Brink gets injured, stepping in for the other injured Jordan Morgan at guard, and he's making his way to the tunnel. That's never a good sign. Neither is how this game is looking to shape up here, as it looks like Detroit will just be able to kneel this game away. And in the battle of the top teams in the NFC, the Lions stay perfect, and our Giants suffered their first loss of the season. A bit disappointing there, but exactly what has happened in every other game is what cost the Giants here. The offense is not getting the job done. So we've got to try to figure out something there to re-spark that group. But I am curious if just changing some of the sim here to just straight sim through a game, if that would change things. So as I welcome myself back to the screen here, we will get an upgrade on Neighbors. We're going to keep him going with more of that open field type, the deep route running, some elusiveness in open space. He's the athlete of this offense. KV coming in. We got a Super Bowl going. Quarter 1, 10-6. Quarter 2, 20-13. Third quarter, 31-16. And then fourth quarter, 38-26. So all in all, everyone's getting something done in every quarter, just Patriots lagging behind. That's what I kind of imagine would happen, especially if the Seahawks get a couple big plays early on. That momentum, when they get that momentum under their wings, they soar. Yep, that's a pun. That's a pun, and we do have a big injury. Brink, we saw, head to the locker room early, and he tore his abdominal. 3 to 7 weeks, a pretty big gap here. You don't know how the rookie is going to handle these kind of injuries. That is a big miss for the Rook. But I think with that, as we do hit our bye in week 6, we do have the Cowboys, though. I don't want to straight sim through a divisional rivalry. But we will go ahead and jump through these next couple weeks. Want to at least get to the last handful of games before we call this one said and done. We've been going for already about an hour and a half. Hope you all are excited for a long bit of Giants today. And also again, let me know if you prefer these to be chopped up, put into an episode format. We could definitely try that. It'll be a little bit more work for me on the back end, that's for sure. But do let me know. I'm always curious about your guys' thoughts on these. More rookie OTAs. All right. Once again, let's talk to Andrews, who hasn't been a rookie for at least half a season now. Yep. Still Andrews. Still want you to get up to speed quickly. This is my problem with Madden. It's just still broken. Still broken after all these years. Is there anything else we need to jump in for? Well, why not? Let's take a look. What does the mock draft have us at here? Has us not winning the Super Bowl, losing in the conference game, and drafting a center. Okay, well, we might need an offensive lineman, but it's not going to be at center. Enrique Amaro, a top 5 projected quarterback, must have had a rough start to the year, though, as he is projected to be the 32nd pick. Any other quarterbacks expected to go before him? A lot of defensive players, a lot of DTs. Yeah, Jonathan Sykeskowitz? Sykeskowitz? I don't know. If you got Sykes, I said it earlier, and I think I pronounced it better earlier. Sykes-Kowski. There we go. If I just take a moment, read a name, you know. He's expected to go 6, so still outside the top 10. If that's the case, we might have to, if he's what we hope he could be, we might have to trade a lot to move up for a potential starting quarterback. If we don't like what's in free agency or if a trade doesn't fit, something to keep an eye on as this season rolls along. Obviously, we have not seen anything great from Jackson Dart yet. As it stands right now, we cannot even see where we are ranking. So we need to get on to the next week then. And for Banks, go ahead and decline that. I don't think we're going to trade away any players this year. We're going to make a full run with the roster as is. I don't think we need to trade for anyone new either. So we're going to go ahead and get on to week 7. I think that week 8 Panthers game will just be a straight up sim. But I don't want to straight sim any conference game or divisional games. Come on, there we go. Now the Cowboys 2-4. And they have the number 4 scoring offense. Meanwhile, we are second to last in that category, dead last in passing yards, only 22nd in rushing yards, but our defense is top 2. If not for our defense, we would honestly be 0-5, for sure. Defense is holding it down for us right now. We need to get the offense re-engaged. As Detroit moves on to be 6-0. We still have a good 2.5 game lead on the Commanders. So things are still shaping up pretty well for us, but not necessarily due to our own making. Let's see what the film room has to say about it. Coach's office, not in the film room yet. Critical game this week. What are we seeing? Don't come to me with the same thing you always do. Defensive backs can't hang with our guys. All right, this is something new. Our offensive coordinator seems to be looking to push the passing game here. Do we think we can do that on the Cowboys? The running game just hasn't been good for us. So we are going to look to see if we could get this passing game opened up. Maybe a little bit of some motivational speeches could help out. For Coach, he's the man who does that. Malik Neighbors, though, stepping up, saying we need to get him the ball. I imagine we should. We haven't seen as much from him this year. But rocking the style of offense that we do run, the 2 backs, you primarily only use 2 receivers, a tight end, and a fullback. So we really need those receivers to make some big plays. Abdul Carter will get him upgraded. We're going to look for apparently a run stopper. I told it to go up to speed, but sure, why not? Get some run stopping there. Get some hit power, some tackling, some smart abilities as well, awareness and play rec. And then wait for the screen to get us back. Khalid Lashley, now I've seen him take the field a little bit this year. He did make a couple plays in that last game. We're going to go run stopper because we went with pass coverage last time. Just kind of go back and forth with those. The only way to kind of have a field general upgrade basically for these outside linebackers. Really hope they get that fixed soon. Max Young hasn't seen the field much at all this year. Kind of got usurped by drafting Alexander. Was a surprise pick for us. He just happened to fall and we weren't going to let him fall by us. But a good upgrade there for Young. We've got a lot of more physical receivers behind Neighbors. Pretty much everyone. Haven't seen Chris Colvin yet take the field. He was a fun player to watch the first 2 games while Cam was out. Gets a nice boost there to break tackle. 23 years old, about a 71 true overall. And I would say some of these ratings were pretty similar to where Cam was when we started. So perhaps we've got a new Cam on the team. He's just not going to see that playing field. At least this year. Maybe more so next year if we look to sign him. One more thing here before we jump into another game. Sheddables? No thank you. Again, as a reminder, we're not doing any of these perks here to boost our own player ratings from this screen. The only thing that does boost them is the playbooks that we are choosing. So let's go with safety this time. We're going to lock that in. There we go. I also wish it would just keep the playbooks I have set again. Just give us a button to lock these in. Save us some time. Hello? There we go. At least I had one correct playbook. 4-2-5. Macho blitzes. And red zone passing. So, again, I talked about not upgrading any of these. Just letting them naturally upgrade or downgrade. And we did see a downgrade here with the heavy sets play sheet, which meant we're not getting the rushing yards we need. We need to have at least 75 per game, and we're not getting that done. So some of these things are going to start degrading, which in that instance, I do like what Madden did. I just think the whole thing could have probably been done a little bit better, a little bit more friendly to the user as well. Go through the training, make sure we stay healthy here, as we did lose one of our focused training. We should get that back next time. I'll need to double check to see what things we have selected, though. And we do have a couple injuries. A high ankle sprain for Edwards. Obviously, we know about Brinks. So one practice injury, which does open up some more potential playing time for Colvin. One more upgrade before we get into that game. And Curtis Cunningham, don't know who you are. We'll just auto-upgrade you and look to get into another division rivalry. This time, though, I do want to start by probably focusing more so on the offense in this game. We tried to do that earlier. It ended up locking us into the game. So, KV, one time I found a hidden dev 6'9" tight end. That sounds like fun. I've been looking for several years. Been looking for a defensive lineman that's like 380, basically anywhere 350 or north. And I feel like there's honestly so hard to find. And every now and then I do find one, they just end up not being that good. I just want a big old boy to slap down the middle. Basically a bigger version of Vita Vea. All right. Ready to jump into another one. That means my face is gone. And we are returning to MetLife. Coming off our first loss, a bye week. How do we respond? We host a division rival as we try to hold on to this division tightly. Our Giants have owned it the last 2 seasons, winning 3 Super Bowls in a row. We had to fight our first way through. It's been a whole lot easier getting to skip that wild card. Games like this, they help out. As we will be starting with, looks like we're going to be returning. No, we are kicking off here first. So we are going to let this slow start here by rolling on through. Bass kicks us off. Defense out first. Good first play as it's thrown away. And then we pick up a sack. Kayvon Thibodeau. We've seen him pick these up almost about 1 a game. And we need it because he is in a contract season. But then we give up 27 to George Pickens. That's not good. Cowboys now move plus side. Tajay Spears, the running back. Pickens back again, doing damage here. And a 3rd and 2 following the rush from Prescott. And they're going to get that first down. 5 yards to Clyde Oden. And a penalty on Mike Andrews is not going to help out. Again, we're not focusing here on the defense, but the Cowboys looking to end their opening drive with some points. 3rd and 3, it's a touchdown for Clyde Oden. So already we're going to have to try to dig out of a hole when our offense has struggled to put up any sort of points in these first quarters. So as we take a step back here to switch things up, KV talking about he had around 84 speed and was pretty good. Just a low rating because of route running. So he sounds like a slightly lower rating version of Theo Johnson. Tight end we had here, who I think was also like 6'7", about 84 to 86 speed. He just didn't want to come back. At the 30-yard line, we start our day, and Cameron Scattaboo still struggling to get moving here. Now, the good news is Morgan is back out there at the starting left guard spot, taking a bit banged up in that last game against the Lions. Passes over the middle and caught. Malik Johnson setting up a 3rd and 2. Now, if this was years past, I would say we are probably pretty favored, especially with what looks to be a linebacker at nose tackle. Just getting the grab as Alexander got caught on his own player there. And now these short down and distances, the running game, it's not seeming all too trustworthy right now, and that is a bit of a concern. Big change up front, obviously Cam Williams starting guard, Tafoya moving to center. Dart throws a well-timed pass. Believe that was Hayden, the rookie tight end, with the grab. No 84 speed, but 80 speed. Good blocking, good hands, good route running. Dart, a little antsy, but lets it fly in and out of the hands of Neighbors. You talk about stepping up. Well, that would have been a great opportunity to step up. Instead, it's 2nd and 10, still back at the 44. As I imagine, we don't look to hand it off to 44. Instead, a quick pass, almost essentially snapping it straight to the receiver. It's a gain of 5, a 3rd and 5. Cowboys sitting with 4 across the line to gain. Dart spinning around like a chicken with his head cut off. And once again, Neighbors takes a shot to the back as it goes in and out of his hands. KV coming in here. Is it good if I'm 13, 15 years old, I'm about 6'1", 220, and really athletic? I play tight end and defensive end. Yeah, at 13, 15 with that size, yeah, there's no problem at all, bud. Look up J.J. Watt when he was in high school. He doesn't look anything like J.J. Watt when he was in the NFL. And I think he also played tight end and defensive end. Don't quote me on that, but that's what clicks in my brain. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But a 4th and 5 here. This offense has struggled massively to get points early in these games. We are jumping out here. Just inside the 40. Etienne checks in at running back. It's a hard count from Dart, almost getting them to jump. A couple players do shift around. Are they going to get Dallas? It looks like they are. Will that be enough for the 1st down, though? No, it's still 4th and short, but we will accept that penalty, making this a little bit easier here for us. Now, if I knew that Madden would still go for it, I would step back. But we don't, so we're going to step right back in. Dart will fall forward for the 1st down. And just like that, we are going right back in to the sim. Again, I want to be hands-on here, but not hands completely on. You know what I mean? I want to have some say like a coach would. I just don't quite have what I'm looking for to do that properly. But a 1st and 10 here. It's Cam right into the defensive line. This line is not opening up space, and we may actually need to consider making a move at center. Because I don't think the combination of Cam Williams and Tafoya with that guard-center combo is doing what we want. Dart sheds through the sack. Cam sheds a tackle only to gain an extra 1. But a gain of 5 on a play that should have been a loss of 5. That's a swing of 10, and that sure sounds like a whole lot more. Wow. That sure sounds like a whole lot more. As I was saying too much, and I couldn't get it all out. As the 1st quarter comes to a close, still with no points on the board here for our Giants. But at halftime, can't answer a question. KV, did I play any sports? If so, what position? I played basically all the major sports. Does look like we had a drop set of frames there. Hopefully we are back smoothly here as the 2nd quarter opens up. I'll get back to the question in a moment as Dart is under pressure, escapes, and throws away. 4th and 4 here. I do think we've got to settle for the field goal. So we bring out Bass here, needing to get the job done. Almost blocked, but it is through the uprights. We'll tack on 3 there, although we nearly did not. Well, back to your question, KV. I did play a bunch of different sports growing up, primarily baseball until I got to around middle school. And then at that point, it was purely football through high school. Had some small schools come to me to talk about going to play there, but I don't know. Senior year was riddled with injuries, stepped away. Was that the right decision? Who knows? As we look to step back into the quicker sim portion here in the 2nd quarter, would love to see more from our offense. with a big penalty there on Kevin Salmon. Looks to probably be a spot foul pass interference. That's really unfortunate. Oh, forgot to answer the second part. What positions did I play? For football-wise, I was always a linebacker up until school ball. Sat comes in, Abdul Carter. Then moved to edge rush. By the time I graduated, I was a nose tackle. But played pretty much every spot in the box for defense. Couple different spots on offense. Odin, though, with another big play, looking for more Cowboy points as they're down to the 2. First and goal, and it's a rushing touchdown for Tajay Spears. Cowboys open up a 2-score lead as our offense continues to struggle here to move that ball. And the only changes made, obviously, I'm not running these plays anymore, but the only changes to the roster is again at center and at guard. Obviously, new tight end, but I feel like that's actually an upgrade in terms of the run aspect of things. As Dart looks to throw, he finds Fedoni out of the backfield. A gain of 8. We just got to find a way to put a few more of these together. The 2nd and 2. And it's more play action here. A dump off to Hayden. He gets popped at the line, tries to slip by, but he steps out at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It's 3rd and 2. Split backfield for Dart as once again he looks to throw. We're just not choosing to run as Neighbors, for the 3rd time today, drops a pass. And you can't be asking for pass interference there. You just plain up dropped it. We got to find a way to get things going here. And one thing we are going to check after this episode is after this game is the stats of the season. And I need to see a breakdown. Are we even looking to go Cam's way? Or are we strictly looking to pass? Because I feel like that's primarily what we've been doing as the run game does enough. 4th and 2 converts to the 42. We'll jump back to the sim. KV back again here with played football and baseball. Was an outfielder, backup first baseman, and of course a pitcher. Everyone at some point played a pitcher growing up. Baseball-wise, I was always left or right field. I had one of the stronger arms on the team, so if a ball got out there, that's where I was put. Though I really wanted to be first or third base, I should say. Another check down to the flat here. It's Fedoni, though, putting in some work. He's looking for that new contract as a starting tight end somewhere else next year. Already told the team he's not interested. I form here. More play action. We're just not going to Cam. Malik Neighbors, no, Malik Johnson, the other Malik, gets the grab and looks to take us to the 2-minute warning. 14-3, Giants need to find that end zone. They're down to the 31-yard line. I don't know if we've seen more than 1 or 2 runs to Cameron Scadaboo so far. They go his way here, and it's just automatically shut down. Cowboys seem to have our play calling sheet when it comes to the run game. They do still count it, however, as about a gain of 1 yard, being courteous there. Throw is almost intercepted again, intended for Neighbors. He has been shut down today with tight coverage, leaving a 3rd and 9 at the 30. Scadaboo going to motion out, Overshown going to shadow him. It's going to be up to Dart here, who looks to roll up top, throws off his back foot, but hooks up down to the 1. It's Malik Johnson. What a throw, though, from Dart. He had to throw that across his own momentum. And we've been a little harsh on him both last year and the start this year. That was a great throw. It's what we know he can do. Cam runs straight into the defenders. He had a wide open lane on the outside. Could have cut it up sooner, but instead he chooses the defenders. Doesn't look like 98 ball carrier vision to me. 2nd and goal at the 2. And keeping it and getting dropped for a big loss is Dart. Parsons still with the Cowboys here, and he shuts that play down. It's 3rd and goal at the 7. Split backfield, Etienne and Scadaboo. Dart facing the rush, steps up, slips by 1, but gets tossed down from behind. And a question you got to answer here if you're Coach Barrington. Go for the touchdown or you settle for the field goal? I think we all know the answer to that. We're going to look to jump back on out here. Got to find our way into that end zone. It's 4th and goal at the 8. We're being aggressive here because the offense frankly needs it. Bunch to the right. Scattaboo, a little shuffle motion. Got to find a way through here. Some way, somehow. The pressure gets back there. Cowboys absolutely shut that down. And I'm sure there's going to be people wondering why you didn't just kick the field goal. Well, sometimes you gamble, it doesn't pay off. Big miss there offensively. As I clicked on the wrong button there, meant to go back to the quick sim. So we'll watch one more play here. A little bit of defense in this more offense-focused game, as it's Tajay Spears spinning off of a would-be tackler. We'll see if we could get out of the first half here without allowing any more points. Is it Odin? Yes, it is. Oh, a big sack there from Carter. And that takes away their momentum. So we get into the second half here needing something big. Giants do start off with that ball. And a quick 3rd and 2 convert. Passing to Cameron Scattaboo and then taking a sack by Jay Towie? Hey, KV, thanks for sticking around for a bit here, bud. We'll see you next time. Andrew Thomas shaking up on that play. I almost missed it. A 4th and 3 at the 50. Yeah, we're going to jump back on out here. This offense is just not moving. You know, this playbook worked really well while we were out there. It did what we want, but no longer, I think, are we a two-back scheme. So we may need to evolutionize this offense. We don't get the penalty call there, but the quick throw is to Hayden, sprinting towards the sideline. Tackled at the 43. It's a 1st down for the Giants. And we'll look to stick with this drive. Jumping into some slow motion here. Once again, some things dropping around here. I apologize if things start to lag a little bit. It shows perfectly good on my computer. Not sure if it's a connection issue, a YouTube issue, something along those lines. Hope it works itself out rather shortly here as Andrew Thomas right back into the game, but the injury showing through a holding call. So 1st and 20 then. Back at the 47. Dart throws over the middle, and there's Alexander. They're going to say fumble. That looked to be a catch down on the play. We're going to see if they give us a replay here, because I want to take a second look at this before deciding if we want to try to challenge that play. And it looked like that knee was down to me. So let's see if we can challenge this. No. It has challenges locked. So what would happen if we just try to jump on out here? There we go. Booth review coming in to try to save the day. This should be an expedited review. I just want one more look at this, hopefully from the front side, or show it from the back side. That's a great way of deciding if that knee and ball were simultaneous or not. But we all know Madden's review system, so let's find out. It's a 2nd and 5. Why do I feel like that's a little bit short of where we were? Or, no, we had the penalty, so it was 1st and 20. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I'm like, we had a big gain there. Got confused. That's why the guy in the booth should pay a little bit more attention. Jump back into our super sim here real quick. As fast as these menus let us now. There we go. Let's see if this offense can finish up the drive strong. The 2nd and 5 of the 38. Play action getting off of Scattaboo. Dart looks to step up, throws right over the head of the linebacker and finds Malik Johnson. He seems to be Dart's favorite target, which I'm here for. Guy's an X factor. 1st and 10. Scattaboo breaks off a 1, but there's just no space for him. This offensive line went from being the top rushing offensive line to arguably one of the worst this year. Rather trains, as weird as I said that, rather strange changeup. I combined changeup and strange as Neighbors finally catches a pass. Works his way down to the 10, but they do say we could get a fresh set at the millimeter line. So 1st and 10, not the 1st and goal. Dart throws, too tall for Neighbors. That should have been a touchdown. And if we're going to rely so much here on Dart, he's got to make these throws. Perhaps he came to Barrington and said, hey, I'm going to play for a new team next year, get my numbers up. It's not going to work with how he has been controlling this offense. We get a gain of 4 there. 3rd and 6 at the 6. We're looking for the end zone. Dart sets up the screen to Scattaboo. Big block, but the 2 other linemen that were over there just stood there watching the good block. And we lose yards on the play and have to settle for the field goal. To make this a 1-score game, it's Bass, and he pushes it through. So we get something, it's just not as much as we need. Right now, offense massively struggling, and our superstar in Cameron Scattaboo really has been nowhere to be found. Meaning we gotta have to change up this offense, change up the playbook, change up a scheme, something to get this going. As it looks like we should be getting ball here, or somehow they converted that 4th and 1. Instead, Cowboys still with possession as we are in the 4th quarter, and they settle for the field goal, 17-6. We need this offense to get that ball in the end zone. They do start with a gain of 4. 1st down, Malik Johnson. Everything has been short and quick. There we go. There's a bit of a bigger chunk. It's a pass to Cameron Scattaboo. And that's where we are going to look to jump in. Plus side. We need a touchdown here. Currently trailing by 11. Would consider going for a 2-point try as well. 2 hands down in the backfield. Though Scattaboo going to motion towards the top. Dart with just Fedoni behind. Will look to throw quick up top. It's to Neighbors. Breaking by 1, but loses about a yard there of forward progress. Call it a gain of 2. Let's move inside 5 to play. At the 37-yard line. Play action here, Dart. Under pressure, and he just doesn't get rid of it. Instead, it's a Dart sandwich led by Parsons and company. And a 3rd and 17. Got to consider potentially going for it on a 4th down here, depending on where they get. Dart throws over the middle. That is to Neighbors at the 36. It is 4th and 7. Field goal doesn't help out too much. So we're going to have to jump on in here. Got to find a way to get this done. 4th and 7. As we approach 3.5 to play, trailing by 11. Hard count, and that will be a free 5 yards. Make it 4th and 2. That's one thing the CPU is not doing whatsoever, is any sort of hard count. Brad Steele, we thank you for those 2 yards, and that changes up what we are looking to do here. Let's instead go spread empty, opposite to what we normally do. Bunch right, 2 to the left. Dart got to find a 1st down here. As he throws, it's tipped away from Alexander. And Steele, who gave up the free 5, injured on the play. But the defense did their job. This offense is just a long way away from where they were the last couple seasons. So we're going to have to try to figure that out. Giants will get another opportunity here. They're going to have to move that ball a whole lot quicker. There we go. A spurt of plays has us plus side. We need a touchdown. We need a 2-point. And we need an onside recovery. With 2 timeouts to spare, Giants looking like they might slide 2 games here. Going to snap that ball, Dart. We don't have much time to work with. Not a smart call as they look to set up a screen. That's to Etienne, his first play for us this season, as he is ushered out after a gain of 8. Does stop the clock at 1:07. Dart once again barking out some calls here, at least the time not trailing for us. He's taking a whole lot of time here. I guess when you got it for free. As he looks to keep this one, and it's crushed. Big hit, but somehow still able to pop back up and get this offense lined back up. Good news he didn't take a concussion on that one. It's Neighbors over the middle, down to the 14. And a timeout called there. 50 seconds to work with. You need 11 points. Got to get the end zone as soon as possible. As Dart checks down and loses about half a yard on the play, plus time to get reset. We'll say the referees are nice there. They actually give us the line of scrimmage. Under pressure, Parsons shuts that play down. Back at the 19, and coach has to call his final timeout. So definitely some worrisome play building up here. The offense hasn't found the end zone yet in this game. They've struggled in the first half to find the end zone. The fourth quarter has normally been theirs. Not the case today as Parsons is back again. Counted as another sack. They lose about a yard. 4th and game here. First down just inside the 4. Dart lets it rip, and it's nowhere close to Neighbors. That is your ball game. Cowboys look to pick up a big divisional win. And for our Giants, they're about to lose 2 straight games, including the bye week. It's been a rough 3-week stretch for this team, as it looks like for the first time under Coach Barrington, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. This offense is not working as it's supposed to. That was a great time. If that was an actual recording, what a terrific endpoint to that and right into that transition. But we're live here. How you guys doing? What do you think about the offense? What do you think we need to change it to? We're going to check the stats. I do also want to go through a straight sim game. I'm thinking the Panthers would be a straight sim game. While we're here, might as well jump into that film talk, because Neighbors, he talked a lot. He said he was going to step up, and he didn't. That was a tough loss today. Yeah, what went wrong? Everything. Yes. Exactly what I was thinking. Everything went wrong. There's no running game, and Neighbors couldn't catch a pass. But now that we are back to the main screen here, we're going to look to take a deep look here, which means we're going to have to suffer some of these screens. But before I get to that, Soul Diablo 34 saw you live and wanted to say hello. I get migraines due to the drastic changes in barometric pressure, and there is a weather system coming in my area, so I'm going to log off and try to relax. Hey, hope you're I don't know exactly how to deal with that, but I hope you find a way to get through that smooth, all right, bud? Hopefully the weather moves quickly through. But yeah, we'll definitely be back with the Giants. We're going to look to stream this a whole lot more moving forward as a primary streaming series. So we'll definitely catch you next time, hopefully with some better weather. And hopefully with the offense doing something. We definitely need to take a look at that. We might also need to consider, again, making that change at center. So let's go ahead and advance this week. We're going to get to week 8. And we probably should take a look at what's on the market, if there's an upgrade that we weren't able to get done in the offseason, because I am willing to make some trades. We lose another heavy set play sheet here. That's downgrading, because, again, we're not getting that 75 rushing yards. That is a problem when this offense is built off of rushing. Can we move on? Thank you, Madden. Rookie OTAs. Madden, please fix it. Please. But Cameron Scatterby went from leading the league by a massive amount in rushing yards, currently not even inside the top 3. We're going to start by taking a look at the stats, see roughly where we are, and we've got to make some changes here. So let's do that together. Right now, Jackson Dart has attempted through the first slightly less than half of the season 157 attempts. He has 4 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He's 64%. It's not good. That's to say the least. 82.7 QB passer rating. Not great. Scatterby has ran the ball, though, 212 times. I just want to do a quick check here. See if we could see how many carries he had in previous seasons. So, oh wait, I was looking at yardage. That's a brain fart right there for sure. 212 rushing yards this year on 53 carries. about halfway, a little bit less than halfway through the season. So he is being massively cut. Right now, we're looking at his total carries probably being, again, not quite to the halfway point. So we're going to say about 75, maybe carries. But honestly, that might be closer to even 60 or 65. So 65, we're going to do some quick math here. And by quick math, I mean I'm going to ask my calculator to do it. So 308, or actually no, flip that. 65 divided by 308. Yeah, he's around 20 to 25% of his normal workload. Now, obviously, he missed the first 2 games, so that does account some of that, but they're not giving him the ball. And when he is getting the ball, he is averaging 4 yards. Just when we've been watching, we're not seeing him do much. Only 1 touchdown for him this season. So his lack of play is not so much on the bad play up front, but more so on just the scheme not properly doing what it's supposed to be doing. And unfortunately, I really want Madden in the future to incorporate some sort of stat here to tell me percentage of blocks won in both the pass and the run. I need to know who's doing their job and who's not. But in terms of sacks, Cameron Williams is struggling. Tafoya, I mean, most of the starters have given up 3 sacks. It's just Morgan who's actually been holding it down pretty well. So I don't know if making a change really there at center would change things because we're just not getting the proper workload for it. That being said, I still want to check what would be available for us, perhaps in the trade block. Thank you. So let's just see what's available. Because I know not a lot of teams are stocking up at center, so I don't know really if there even would be a lot of options. There's really not. Especially knowing that's more on the younger side and developable. There are some right guards available, though. That's for sure. Eagles are trying to trade away Parrish. Do they have even another? I guess that's not really the click I'm looking for there. I actually want to look at what their roster looks like. So you have to sit through these menus a little bit longer. Now Madden is punishing you for clicking wrong. So let's just go to the trade finder. I want to see what the Eagles line is even looking like. Because, I mean, they are technically in a cap problem. Wrong button. I mean, yeah, they do have multiple guys, and Dalvin Amos is better. So, yeah, I mean, technically, they could trade him. Eagles actually have some pretty good depth on this team. Although, if you ask me, I don't know what the degradation in ratings would be, but maybe Parrish should have been moved to center in the offseason. What does he look like? Now, I do want to go to that screen. He's a superstar, but he is an agile focus, so he's not a scheme fit for us. The power would be horrific for our offense. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like making a change at center is really what we're looking for. What we would have to change would be more so playbook. Maybe a scheme change could swing things one way. But before we do go make any change, I do want to see what just a straight sim game would look like. Carolina Panthers are sitting around 500, though not that far off from where we are either. Just one more time here. Apparently, we're going to see this multiple times throughout the year. Once again, got to talk to the not rookie and just tell them to be ready. Defense is doing their job out there. But frankly, we might need him to go play some running back, maybe center. Get on back in here. Scouting national focus. Again, the whole thing this year we're going to kind of make it harder. So we're going to pull off of that. So we're going to delegate that decision to the staff. Staff did do us well last time. Hopefully they do us a little bit better this time. But let's take a look here at the schemes. Because we got to find a way to open up the running game. We're not running enough. And right now the scheme is for a multiple power run. We're only a 73% fit there. Do any of these really stand off the board? The only thing would be a vertical power. Now this would potentially open up some of our passing game. And we have a tight end that is listed as a vertical threat. Now, I do wish we could actually set that to be what we were actually running, but I think even that we might need to change. Do you guys have a vertical power offense that you prefer? Just going to scroll through these as quickly as it lets me, see if we could find a nice playbook. Detroit, they do run that vertical passing scheme, does get the backs involved, receiving a bit as well. Could be an option. We could set this as what it is going to be, but we could still go through that sim with our normal two-back playbook. Or actually, no, we can't even change that playbook for that. So never mind. Whatever we choose here is going to be the playbook that would be ran in the future. Not a whole lot of vertical power. A lot of West Coast, multiple power. I know this is a very intriguing part of the stream. Just scrolling through a menu. Yeah, oh, there was one. Buffalo. I just don't feel like Buffalo has the focus on the running back as much as Detroit does. And we're looking for the focus to be back on Cam. So I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to find Detroit's offense here. And that's what we're going to switch to. We're going to try to change up schemes here. Now we're saying someone coming in here, Chintz, you think we need to trade for a better line? Possible. We do have, though, a pretty good offensive line. We'll just go through that real quick. We have a couple guys that are developing. But start left tackle, 89 overall, Andrew Thomas, one of the top tackles in the game. Morgan has been a great addition. 81 overall there to Foya. 84 was 86 at guard. We moved him to center this year as we had the hole. And Cameron Williams really, I mean, he is a weaker guy. I mean, 76 overall. But he's young. He's developing. He's the 36th ranked guard. So you're not going to get that much of a difference between him and someone else as a starter. But the run power is really where his focus is and what we've been trying to do. The game just hasn't done it in the sim. The only other weaker spot would be at tackle. Now, I will say the right side of the line is weaker. And potentially that is something that we will be addressing in the next off season. One, because Marcus Mbo doesn't want to re-sign his contract or sign an extension. But they're still pretty solid, and they're focused all towards the power. So the offensive line is a scheme fit. He's also the 23rd ranked tackle. So almost everyone up front for us is of starting caliber. So you're not going to really get much better for the offensive line for what's available for us right now. Chance, get out of here with that Ryan Kelly talk. We don't need concussion Kelly over here right now. We don't need that for sure. We're going to see how Tafoya does at center this year. He's played center for us a couple times. Trying to go trade for an injury player. But we are going to look to straight sim this because we haven't simmed any of these games yet. We're going to see what the stats look like. Obviously, again, it's not using our normal playbook, which was the two backs. But now we're going to look to change that up because in the sim, it's just not working. And we're going to see, do the boys get back in the win column here? So we have to scroll through these menus real quick. We, I think, did get back in the win column. We did. We moved to 5-2 with a 27-21 win over the Panthers. Our first full sim game of the series is a dub. And that means we've got to go check it out. And we actually scored points. We scored more points in that game than we had scored in any game so far this year. So maybe the change of offense did help. We put 7 on the board in the first, 10 on in the second, and 10 more in the fourth to see us buy Carolina's late 15-point fourth quarter push. So that's big. Jackson Dart QB rating of 125.2. Still under 200, which tells me probably focused a little bit more on the running game. A touchdown. We did pick off Bryce Young. He only had 61% complete. Dart had 84. That is a great start here. And Cam had 16 carries, more than he had in any other game so far this year. And he averaged just about 6 yards a carry. Didn't have the touchdown. Chuba Hubbard also fumbled. It looked like Scattaboo got us down to the end zone, and ETN checked in and took those touchdowns. Leggett, though, did get a touchdown on us. Neighbors, a first down, a catch. Alexander, 3 catches, so we're going to see him take a bigger role in this offense and perhaps might even open up things a little bit more for DeMarco Hayden. So maybe this was a good step for our offense to take to evolve. After 3 straight years of running the same offense and winning 3 Super Bowls, at some point these teams are going to catch up. And that seems to be what happened here. Now, I did talk about not wanting to straight up sim through divisional games. We have the Cowboys, we have the Commanders. Those are going to be the next 2 in opposite form of what I just said. Commanders, then Cowboys, then Eagles. This is a divisional stretch that could really set up the rest of this season. So I think what the plan is going to be is we have already been going here for a little over 2 hours. We're going to get through these 3 games, and we're going to finish up the season next time. So, with that being said, coordinator, don't let me down this time because you did last time. In fact, I don't even want to see the office. Just straight up tell me what you're thinking. Notice they try and game plan away from what he thinks is a suspect linebacking group. Last time he came up with this, we struggled massively against the linebackers. New offense, though. I want to focus on our rushing attack. So if that is, we might not like it. OC being upset that we're telling him what to do, but obviously this year, it's not been good for him. He's probably on the hot seat. We're going to tell him what to do for the remainder of this season. Settle in. We got to get this run game going. I'm talking to you, Cam. You were the legend on this team. We need to get him 20, 30 carries. That is what won us 3 Super Bowls. That's what we got to get back to. So whatever we got to do here in this to get to that point, we will have to do. And that might mean coming up with a new playbook. A new injury, however. Hunter Jones, a bit banged up. Good news, we have plenty of defensive tackles. Some young bucks will get some opportunity. A couple players to upgrade as well. But before we get to that, game plan time. As we are seeing our play call sheets definitely degrade throughout this time. Red zone, though, is still sticking true. Get these properly set up. But I guess now it is a little bit different. So no longer really, I think, are we focused on heavy sets with this new look. So what might be a better one for us to go after? Because I still want to focus on running the ball, and most of these are going to be more focused towards the pass. So I think we actually will just end up sticking with the same. They seem to be the only ones that have some focus around the run game. So yeah, there we go. Locked and loaded for a divisional stretch. But the roster does look to be a bit banged up. So before we move on, let's get some rests set up where rests need to be. And I see Cam Scattaboo is a little bit banged up, so we're going to lock him in for half pads this week. We need him full go. Same for Thomas. And rest up Cameron Williams. Defensively. Yeah, our guy's got a little bit more injury, or a little bit more injured going through that straight sim, which is a nice change. Sanders, go ahead and take the rest this week. Get ready for the game because it's a divisional game and we need to come out big on the other side. Simulate that training. Again, if you guys are enjoying, do let me know. Leave the boys a big old thumbs up. We're having to shake things up here. No, that's what everyone wanted to see. Giants now struggling after dominating for a couple seasons. Ooh, that is big. Jordan Morgan with a back strain heading into this game. And with Brink out, we're running thin on the offensive line, so one of the rookie mid-round selections will be getting the start at guard. Do need to check the roster to make sure we have everyone properly set up there so the team doesn't auto-release and add someone that doesn't need to be here. We're going to go run stopping for Mike Andrews. +3 to that block shed. Defense just getting even better. It must be all that rookie OTA work he's putting in. Darius Alexander, the man quitting on this team after this year, after we got him 3 Super Bowl rings, hopefully looking for a 4th. That's if we could get this offense turned around. Up to a superstar X Factor as well. We could have looked to trade him, but we're making a push here this year. Jeremiah Alexander, keep upgrading that physicality. That's what we're looking for here for our big body slot. Good upgrade there, short route running as well, and he should see a lot more playing time now with a more spread-looking offense. In fact, it seems like a lot of these guys are starting to get some more playing time with these upgrades we're seeing roll in. Before we upgrade Hoffman here, as he's primarily a return man, all these other guys are down the line, so we're going to auto-upgrade them. Part of taking our hands off the leash a little bit here. Yeah, one more thing before we jump in. Just ensure we have guys at the spots we have to have with those injuries up front. And no, we didn't have a single left guard, so it is a good thing we checked. Carl Hill is going to have to move over to left guard. The rookie out of Clemson, 75 overall, hidden dev, looking to make his first career start. And it's going to be at a position he hasn't played in a while. Left guard. Hopefully he did a little bit of some work at those rookie OTAs. Opposite of Mike Andrews, who just loves it so much he keeps coming back. It's the only way we could get along here in Madden is just by making fun of Madden. But there we go. Carl Hill stepping in. We're not going to look at that screen too much longer because it is janky. But I think we're good to go. Divisional stretch set to begin. Get my head out of the way. Turn off my light here. And let's head back to East Rutherford with a new playbook. Our first time seeing it in action. Just making sure it's there. There it is. Detroit and Baltimore is what we are rocking. And you know what? We haven't changed the uniform set this year. So let's go to my favorite. Let's go. New offense taking the field, trying to refocus back on Cameron Scattaboo as the OC drifted away from what won us these Super Bowls. He might be looking for his way out of New York, New Jersey as well. But the Giants, with a big win last week, holding on against the Panthers, look to separate even more at the top of the NFC East as they take on the Commanders, a team that we had a close matchup with earlier today, narrowly finding the win there. And it looks like it will be our offense out first. As we do, we will skip by the opening kickoff here because normally nothing crazy happens. It's a touchback for Hoffman. And now it's time to see what this new playbook has in store. A new look Giants, though they begin with a heavier set. It's a single back look. Alexander in motion. And play action. Dart will throw backside and hooks up with Malik Johnson. The master of the crossing routes continues to break open time and time again. The first and 10 of the 44. It's now a stretch. Scattaboo breaks one, but no one is able to set the edge. Will be a loss of 3 on the play for the Commanders. That's not what I want to see from our first run. I don't want to see a lot of stretches either. This offense is meant to run a lot of ISO, a little bit of some inside zone as we look to run that here. But there's just no blocking. Former Giant Javon Holland makes the play. Now we got a 3rd and 12. Good thing we got an offense that's a little bit more spread here. Bunch up top with 2 rookies. And it's going to be that tight end motioning out to make it a diagonal look. Need 12 yards here. Dart steps up and throws, hooks up with that rookie tight end who's going to pick up about half the yards needed. A 4th and 4 at the midfield line. And we see coach motioning for the team to stay on out there. New playbook. We got to find some new plays here. Give me some mesh concepts. That is what Coach Barrington is all about. Gambling here early on in a divisional game. And the rookie moves early on the hard count. Come on. Well, there goes that. If you haven't noticed, we're going to focus again a bit more here on the offense with that new playbook. Defense will jump in if it's crunch time, but they get a quick 3 and out. Offense, do something here. There we go. 3rd and 10. We find Neighbors for 14 and make it 19 for Johnson. So clearly these two are going to have a little bit more say in what's happening here with this new offense. I still want to make sure we're getting Scadaboo well involved. 20-plus carries a game is where he needs to be at. Now we do have a strong eye here, but it's play action. Throwing to the flat, that's Fedoni. He's going to get about a gain of 6. Keeping things moving here with 2 tight ends on the field. That is Peak and Hayden. And more play action. Dart under pressure, lofts a beautiful ball. That's Neighbors showing off some speed and scooting down inside the 20. We've got a red zone trip and a little bit of a janky celebration there. I don't know what Lattimore was doing underneath Neighbors, but no penalty on it. 1st and 10 at the 16. It's I form. Cam dotting that I. And again, it's play action. Quick flip for Fedoni. He's got some space outside. Fighting and finally shoved out at the 2. Number 2 Lattimore involved again. But can they set up Cam? You imagine that's where you go here. No, it's back to Fedoni as he gets an extra yard and a half. 2nd and goal inside the 1. A single back set this time. Now wouldn't be a bad time for a stretcher power up front, almost jumping off sides. They hand it off instead. It's Malik Johnson, touchdown. Still not getting Cam involved. I don't know what's going on here with Cam, the OC. I think they had a disagreement perhaps coming back from injury. But the Giants score a touchdown, the first we've seen in the first quarter, and I don't know how long. And there's things I like and don't like about that drive, but I'm going to take the points. 7-0. Once again, we'll look to jump through. Want to see our defense keep shutting down offenses. There's a stop in the backfield. Tank Bigsby loses 3. But then they pop back up with Tony Dockery. Gain of 17 and plus side as they move inside the second quarter as well. Driving down the field, 3rd and 2. They get 8. Follow it with a short gain, 3-yard Daniels, but then pop up down inside the 15. But a big play penalty on Tyler. I always forget how to pronounce his last name because it's not how it looks like it would be. So we're just going to skip by it. Let me know in the comments. 3rd and 13 set up here after the 3-yard rush. And that pass is dropped. Rashid Shaheed. Does he have a Super Bowl? We're about to find out rather shortly. But it is the Commanders settling on a field goal. As the Giants look to get that ball back. Touchdown drive for them last time, but stall out after 3 plays that go. I think I said that toe. That doesn't make any sense. Abdul Carter with a penalty, another penalty, and we gift them plus side. They give us 3 back, and quickly it's 3rd and 12. They've only gained negative 2 yards that whole drive themselves. But they get it done. 27 yards to McLaurin. Red zone trip. 3rd and 3. How about touchdown? Shaheed holds on to it this time. Commanders take that lead. Giants get the ball. About 3.5 to play in the first half. Now we're going to jump in to see how they handle that. We've seen a touchdown drive. We've seen some 3 and outs. We need to see them knit this thing together. It's a heavy look with an extra tight end or extra offensive lineman actually in at a tight end spot. They hand it off, and Scadaboo doesn't find the gap. Plus, there's an injury It looks to be Cameron Scadaboo. Looks to be fine getting up, but it's going to work his way over to the sideline. Mike Andrews is going to check on him. He picks up 2 and has to leave the field, so ETN checks in. Now he fits this offense pretty well, but that could be a big miss. Going to be Hayden in motion towards the top. Play action off of it. Dart throws up that way and tipped away from Neighbors. Tight man-on-man coverage. And now it's 3rd and 8, looking to avoid 2 straight 3-and-outs. Dart with pressure gets rid of it. That's to the side, and it's going to pick up a few, but not a whole lot. 4th and 5, and that appears to be a punt. So the offense still struggling a little bit, and I forgot to switch to fast mode. That's on me. You know, you blame Madden enough sometimes. You got to also blame yourself. Good punt, though, from the rookie, and a good open field tackle, Banks. Get an update here. 11 rushing touchdowns for Saquon Barkley. Really weird not seeing Cameron Scadaboo on that list. Got to find a way to get him back going here. Perhaps that hip injury still cause of concern. Looks to get an update on him too. Defense, though, picks up the 3-and-out. And we'll get that ball with less than a minute to play. And speaking of that update, tell me something good here, Medical Center. No Cameron Scadaboo, so he looks to be back in this game. Got to find a way to get him to lead us to the promised land. Because right now we've had to rely a whole lot on Dart, and this offense is not built for the quarterback. Just about halfway to go to the end zone. Starts with a quick throw to Alexander. That has us to the 43-plus side. 2 timeouts in the back pocket for Coach Barrington. And a tight shotgun look here for Dart. Who's going to look to step up, throw on the move, and misses his target, placing it between 2 different options. And a 3rd and 2 here, you would imagine we run, but it looks like the Commander's expecting that. Stacking the box here with 7 men. And it's RPO to the top. Neighbors will have it. Love that play call from Coach Barrington. That is what we need to see. Help open up this box, get the running game going. 1st and 10 of the 36. Quick throw up top. That's to Cam out of the backfield. If that gets him going, we will take it. He's just got to have 20 to 25 touches per game. Right now we'll see ETN check in, and he gets the carry. There's just not much of a push down the middle. Timeout called from Coach Barrington. We'll have 1 more remaining as the Giants trail the Commanders 10-7 here with about 30 seconds to play in the first half. They're down to the 30. Will be a shotgun look with 2 up top. It's another handoff here and a big hit. Nathan Henderson laying the wood. And that looks to bring out the field goal team. Coach B calling that timeout to give him a little bit of a breather beforehand. Looking at a 47-yarder line straight up. Snap back, hold down, kick is good for Tyler Bass. And that ties us up 10 apiece. Now we just got to hold on to that for 27 seconds. Looking for a return here, though. Commanders with a good spin, but stop there at the 30. They lose some seconds. They would have got that with a touchback. But hopefully we see ourselves moving quickly through halftime here. If anything goes awry, I'm sure we'll jump in. Tyrone Heggie gets a pass breakup. They lose 3 yards as they look to run us to the break. Abdul Carter banged up on the play. That's not how I wanted to get the depth rush in this game. That is unfortunate. Commanders do start off with the ball, though. Rashid Shaheed, one of their and only touchdown for them. Tank Bigsby follows it with 15 more, then loses 2 as Daniels tries to rush that ball. Then it's a throwaway. So 3rd and 12, defense looking for a stop here. And they only allow a short pass to Tank. Looks to be outside of field goal range, so forcing that punt. Offense here has a chance to take the lead, and they're hitting on the big plays. 47-yard touchdown, Malik Neighbors. There we go. We take our lead. Finally comes here about midway through the third. Commanders looking to answer with another third down here. They need 4, and they've got it by the 40. 13 yards to Jalen Lane. As they will move inside the 25 here, looking for another red zone trip. Thrown away. Gain of 7 from Tank. Leaves 3rd and 3. Defense stonewalls that play, and they look to go for it. It's a sack by Thibodeau and a turnover on downs. Risking it for the biscuit. I love that call. And the defense comes through as Nathan Henderson knocks away the pass. Coach Barrington's former player coming back to haunt him in this one. A couple big plays. Another sack from Thibodeau. We need that as Abdul Carter left the game earlier. Haven't got note on a return. And the defense does just enough to shut it down on 3rd and long. 4th and 2, they punt it away. I think it's time we rejoin the field of play here. And by that, I don't mean jump in and actually run these plays. I just want to turn on to the clock mode here. Up a touchdown as we are into the 4th quarter. But we will see how this offense handles a 7-point lead with 7.5 to go. They're not lighting up the scoreboard by any means. Cam, he's got a lane, and he will rumble for a gain of 9. Only 5 carries for him. I need a slider, Madden. I need a slider for our quarterback or for our coach to adjust how often we pass, how often we run. I know some of that is in the playbook, but if you have to go edit an entire playbook to meet what you're looking for here, it's just not the goal, you know? Let's improve a little bit. As we do get the first down, it's 1st and 10, approaching 6. Dart will look to step up, launches downfield, and had 2 targets, but couldn't pick one, I guess. I don't think anyone got bumped off there late. It's just a bit inaccurate. Could have had a touchdown, too. But a 2nd and 10. Tight end motions to the outside here, breaking up the bunch. Quick throw to him underneath, and will be a short, quick gain of 3. That's a Laporta play for sure. 3rd and 7. 2 up top, 2 tight ends at the bottom. Dart once again looking to throw over the middle. That's going to be Malik Johnson. First down, breaks the tackle by the 50, the 40, the 30. Defenders closing in and take him down at the 23. It's 2:41 for Dart through the air as they flip the field inside the 25. Going back to the passing game, and it's a good news that linebacker corner DB did not have his head on a swivel, and it does appear it's that hip still bothering Cameron Scadaboo. We saw him grab it there for a moment, now limping? I'm sure he's probably saying some things out there, but limping to the sideline. Not a good look for this team's legend. We see running backs often after about 4 years really drop off. Hopefully that's not the case for Cam, as Fidoni's taking the ball himself, setting up a goal-to-go spot at the 8. Giants looking for their first 2-score 4th quarter lead of the season. It's Etienne down the middle for a short gain. Once again, Nathan Henderson is there. Giants, though, still letting that clock roll. 2nd and goal at the 7. Dart with a blitz. Doesn't see it, but he gets it out just in time for another 1-yard gain to Etienne. Take that over the sack. Leaves 3rd and goal now. Bunch up top, one at the bottom. Haven't called Alexander's name yet. Not going to have the chance there either. It's Gay with the sack. They heavy loaded one side of the line, and you guessed it, it was the right side of the line, the weak side here for Coach Barrington. Even weaker with the injuries to the line as well. Little 4th and goal. Commanders trying to ice the field goal. 31-yarder, and Tyler Bass has it. It is still a 2-score lead, first for the Giants this season. Inside the 4th quarter, in fact, it might almost be the whole games as well. With 3:08 to play, Commanders will get the ball. Good kick, but will return it from about the 1. And stopped up at the 28 will bring out Jaden Daniels. The Commanders offense, they need a quick score. And we need a quicker exit. Thank you very much. I want to jump right back in, see if the defense can lock this game down. The 25-yard line. They start their drive. A spread look. Four-man rush, passes over the middle and caught. Going to be a short gain. And right back to it. Quickly checking the field here. Abdul Carter is back in the game. Player to watch, though, number 5 on the opposite side. Thibodeau with a couple sacks. Daniels, though, immediately scrambles. And Tyrone Heggie shows off a little bit of some hit power there, sitting him down at the 31. Mug look here from the Giants. Motion up top for the Commanders. Looks like it might be some man coverage here. Pressure almost got back there, but Daniels delivers a clean pass. It's caught first down. Not sure who 80 is for him. Don't have the roster in front of me, but it kind of looks like Bo Melton. Well, that might just be a throwback here for the States Only Challenges. If you've been here for that long. 1st and 10. Daniels quick throws. Everything is quick and underneath. It's Terry McLaurin for 4. I don't know if they've got enough time, though, to run this quick throw offense. As we approach 2 minutes, they're trailing by 10. Daniels again quick over the middle. It's a drag short of the line to gain. 2-minute warning will give them a timeout with 3rd and inches to go. And they are 48 yards away from the end zone. They need that, an onside, and a field goal to tie here. Bunch motion up to the top. Swivel that back down. Daniels, another quick fire, but through the hands this time, and it's now 4th and inches. Do consider here just going with a quarterback sneak, but they do not line up behind center. Instead, bunch to the bottom, one up top. Everything's been quick passing. Make it a diamond shape to the bottom. Daniels right back to it, hits his tight end. First down, rumbling inside the 35. And somehow throughout all those plays, we are just now inside a minute 50. I feel like some time kind of slipped by. Throw downfield and overthrows an open target. I believe that was Lane. Could have and arguably should have been a touchdown. Instead, they remain at the 32. It's a 3-man rush. Daniel steps up and throws. Caught, touchdown! This time he hooks up with him. And that's right, it is Lane. Commanders get one of the 3 things they need here late. Now they need the point after. They need to get that ball back, and they need a field goal. Back coverage there from Kevin Salmon. With 1:32, they get that touchdown. Point after is good. Imagine here they look to go to the onside. Or not. No, they do go with it. It's just an awkward initial setup that looks to fake out the return, but does not fake out Roseman. He recovers, and that's Giants ball with just about enough time to look to kneel this one away. Oh, of course, with the timeouts they have remaining, we still have to run some plays. Good news, Cam back in the game, trying to fight through some injuries here. I guess this season by the looks of how he has played as they go his way. Hit didn't look to bother him that time as he runs through 2 players. And all but said and done here in East Rutherford. But no victory formation yet. 20-17 and down at the 34. 1 timeout remains, and it's going to be a handoff. Malik trips as he got spun around. And it looks like that is indeed Holland shaken up. That will stop the clock. Final timeout forced there for the Commanders. And still the Giants do not line up in victory formation. Hand it off, it's Etienne slipping one. He's got a gain of 5. Now still needing 5 more. Now they look to kneel here. Just got to wait to take that knee just after 40 seconds, and they do it by about half a second. If this was college football, that clock would just run on down. And it kicks us out, even though I said to wait until end of game here. It looks like we're going to try a field goal. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, Madden. Do not mess with us here because that clock rolled down more. We had 40 and 40. But we will take the field goal. And that gives the Commanders technically an opportunity. Don't do this to me now, Madden. Don't do it. This game should be over right now. Instead, the Commanders will get a kickoff. We'll see what they look to do on that kickoff. We just kick it through the end, so they will have an offensive snap. No timeouts. Tackle them inbounds. This game is over. So back in prevent defense. Don't do it, Madden. Don't do it. Daniel steps up and rips it downfield towards the sideline. It's caught out of bounds. This game is over. Giants hold on, though Madden, of course, had to make it more interesting than it should have been there late. And that is a sweep of the Commanders. Break out the broomsticks. If there's an emoji to leave an emoji of a broom or a mop or anything that resembles a broom, because that is a division rival swept on the season. But just game 1 of 3 of our divisional stretch. We're going to try to get through those next couple games a little bit quicker. Just had to reply to a text there. Talking about dinner. Carl Hill, his first career start is a dub, and with that, he gets an upgrade. Gets a boost of that run block, which is nice because that is what we need, and potentially we could even see one of these guys replace Cam Williams if the line continues to struggle. So something to keep an eye on. We've got the young talent. We've got to develop it here. And the best way to develop offensive linemen when you are in sim is actually getting them on the field. So that's something we're going to have to take a look at. And speaking of taking a look at, how about take a look at my face? There we go. So, by face. See how this ended up working out for us last time. It did not. Solid win today. What do you say made it a success? The defense. It's not exactly what coach is saying, but the defense. Offense did better. They did better. Cam was fighting through injury, but we need more Cam. Got to find a way to get Cam a lot more involved here. Now, it looks like the trade deadline is actually in week 9 here, so that's cool, but we're not going to look to make that move. We need Deontay Banks. The defense has just been too good. They are still going to have to sim to the next week. Then we could see where they're ranked. We were ranked 2 across the board earlier this year. I definitely missed some spelling on that, but I was trying not to focus on the texting too much. We got a couple more games to get through here. Again, with the rookie OTAs. I think we need to send Mike Andrews to a psychologist or a concussion specialist because dude still thinks he's at rookie OTAs. We are halfway through your second year in the league, my guy. Got to get that brain checked out. But here we go. Monday night prime time. Wasn't it the Cowboys that was our first loss on the season? No, it was the Lions. Cowboys was the second loss. So we're looking for some revenge here as we bring a new offense to the table. And this time I believe it is at home, right? No. I thought we went to Dallas last time. Apparently not. But let's look to lock on in here for another divisional game. Again, we're going to look to get through it a little bit quicker. We'll probably start with some quarter sims. Look to get to that fourth quarter. Get these play sheets correctly dialed up here. There we go. Looks good there. Looks good there. Still got some guys banged up. I'm sure Cam is one of them. Yeah, his risk of injury is high. We're going to need to rest him in this one for sure. Good news, he is already on that rest. Everyone else looks good there. Abdul Carter, we're going to put you on half pads as well. Don't need anyone getting injured here. We need our starters for this big game. Big stretch of games. Simulate that training. I meant to check to see if we could get the focus player, but I think it was locked in anyway. We're going on here for about 2 hours, 45 minutes. Seeing some of you come in, check back in at later points. For those watching later, how did you watch this? Let me know. Obviously, it's long, and that is the whole goal here with this Giants series. We're going to be in here for a good long chunks. It's going to be a nice kind of late evening check-in. Get everyone's input on these series. Hey, Mike Andrews, can we upgrade your mentals? Because I think you need it. Do get the play rec up. Maybe the play recognition will help him recognize that he's a sophomore in the league. No longer a rookie in OTAs. Barrett Carter getting that upgrade. Haven't called his name much this year. We have not seen much at number 49. +4, though, to that block shed. +2 play rec. That's a good upgrade. That's why I like the field generals. I would like to see Madden kind of simulate more of what college football has done in terms of the archetypes. The archetypes truly do matter. I don't feel like they do as much here. You can get that pass coverage up because Khalid Lashley could be a starter in the near future, maybe next season. I think he could potentially take over for a Barrett Carter and arguably could look to do that even this season. Yeah, let's upgrade the tight end, or not the tight end, the punter. Colin Farrell. Or Farrell, what do you guys like? Farrell or Farrell? I've heard him pronounced both ways. The rookie out of TCU. Got a lot of rookies on this team. The other two, they can auto upgrade because who knows how long they're going to be with this team. Fedoni just the rest of this season. That is confirmed as we are ready to head back on in to a divisional game. So once again, let's get my head on up out of here. Turn off my light. And let's look to steal a win from the Cowboys. We're looking to widen our gap, our control on the division in our first primetime game since the season opener. Against the Philadelphia Eagles, we stole that one. Our last game today could look to be a sweep, but we got to focus in here. Giants, Cowboys down at AT&T Stadium. Cowboys were able to beat us earlier this year, handed us our second loss. A 2-loss streak, but since then we have bounced back. New offense taking the field, a defense that has been top tier this year. A 6-2 record under coach Barry Barrington, and a 4-5 record under Brian Schottenheimer. Not a good look here for the Cowboys, looking to bounce back to 500 with a divisional win and a divisional sweep. But as mentioned, we're going to start with a little bit of some quarter sims. And it's a long opening drive that nets nothing. Giants bounce back with one of their own and take the first quarter 7-0. Looked like there must have been a turnover, a 4th and goal that they went for it. Giants a 2-score lead. Cowboys finally get on the board there before the first half comes to a close. It is 10-3. And into the third. It's a bit of back and forth, the game slowing down. And we'll slow it down even more as we look to jump on into the opening drive of the fourth quarter. It's the Cowboys trying to march. They have not scored a touchdown today. Talked about this defense being top tier. The stretch down to the bottom. Big hits in the backfield. Nathan Oliver got there first, cleaned up by Thibodeau. And speaking of number 49, helps get involved in the tackle. That's Barrett Carter. Looks like he's primarily been subbed out of any sort of sub role, so is really just out there in base packages. It's been Sanders and Andrews. Pressure from behind. The quarterback gets taken down by both edge rushers. Abdul Carter getting there first, takes 3/4 of that sack. Thibodeau cleans it up with him. And that forces a punt here. Giants will get the ball with a 7-point fourth quarter lead. And no return on that punt. It's fair caught. 27 is where we begin. Jackson Dart leading the team this year with the inconsistency of Cameron Scattaboo. He's obviously been quite a bit banged up. He's not received as many looks. The offense has changed schemes. Can he find his way back to his legacy? The motion up top, that is Malik Johnson. Play action, going to Malik Johnson with a lead block. Hayden sets him up the sideline around the midfield line. He is shoved out. This seems to be the year of Malik Johnson. A change with the format. Dart throws downfield, it's to Neighbors. First down and out of bounds at the 31. The Malik's going to work this year, as long as Dart can throw an accurate pass. First and 10, it's Cam. He's got some lead blocks, trying to find his way through, but we're just not quite seeing what we're used to. 5 carries up to this point. 28 yards though, the average is good. He's just not getting the rock. Might have to edit a playbook. Play action here. Dart with a defender on the ground. Nearly cost us the whole drive. Who knows? Could swing the game. You never know with Dart. But he almost threw the pick. Cam was turned around. That was just a panic throw. Etienne now switches over to the left-hand side. Motion up top. That is Young out on the field here. I haven't seen much from him as Parsons just swallows up Dart at the 34-yard line. So it's not going to be a touchdown drive here, but it does bring out Tyler Bass. 51-yard attempt to go back up 2 scores. And the kick is through. Make it 13-3 on Monday Night Football. Or in our case, Thursday night. Now we just need this defense to continue locking things down. We will jump back to the quicker sim menu with a good tackle there in open field. That is Lashley fighting to get some of that playing time, and I think perhaps in the second half of this season we're going to give it to him. That'll be a next episode thing, though. We're not going to change anything in this one outside of obviously changing up the offensive scheme, and a sack for Abdul Carter. 2nd and 16, though, they get half of it back with Clyde Oden. Had a really good first matchup between these two, and a first down. Pickens. They needed 8. He gets 9. As they are I was going to say as they were closing in on the midfield line, but there was a fumble that showed up late. Giants back in possession, and a touchdown, Malik Johnson. Giants open things up here in the 4th. It is 20-3. The Cowboys, their hopes of getting back to 500 slipping away as that clock runs down to 000. 20-3. Giants get the dub. And they get their revenge on the previous matchup where the Cowboys shut down their offense. Not a touchdown in this game for the Cowboys. Only 20 points, though, for the Giants. Still leaving a lot of room to improve offensively. And that leaves us one more game here for today. And once again, we're going to look to get through it a little bit quickly as well, as we are approaching our 3rd hour of streaming here. Cameron Williams, he feels the pressure from those young Bucks. He's trying to improve, and he'll get the boost here. +3 run block, a good spread of power there. +1 to the pass block as well. It's going to be hard to dethrone him, but we're going to have to make some adjustments for sure still as the offense struggles. But we'll let the roster lie as it is for one more game because it is on a win streak. But we do have another injury. Check in on this. Deonte Banks, that could be massive. Talked about not wanting to make any roster changes. Well, looks like we're going to be forced to do it now. That's big. That is big. What are we looking like then at safety? I know we don't have good depth at that spot. That's why we had to move Banks to that spot. So right now, Preston Wilcox, who we had to re-sign after the season. And that's about it. We weren't able to handle safety like we were hoping. We do have a rookie. I don't think he's ready yet, so it's going to be Preston Wilcox. Hopefully we don't get beat too much by speed over the top. That's unfortunate. But that's what this series is about, you know, bringing a little bit more challenge. We didn't really suffer that many injuries while we were in charge of everything. So now things are a little bit more out of our control and things are happening. As we've got one more quick screen to get through. Film room prep. What are we thinking? I'm assuming it's our OC coming to us yet again. Critical game this week. We know. They tried a game plan away from the suspect linebacking group. Focus on the run game. Get Cameron Scattaboo involved. We can't have him just getting 5 yards or 5 carries a game. We saw this last time, so we'll jump through it. Get 20 rushing attempts with Cam Scattaboo. That's what we want. It's up to the OC to follow what we tell them. And I just want to check in with our OC here real quick as well. Hello, how you doing? He's got a 76% job security. Somehow our defensive coordinator's lower. Can't change our trainer, though. We're, though, sitting at a pretty good 96. Staff isn't as happy with us, but I don't know. I don't know if Montalvo is going to be back next year with how the offense has been this year. So that part we might not care about as much. Get through this weekly training really quickly here. At least as quickly as the menus let us. Again, not doing any of the coaching boost for the player rating boost. We will jump through these. I do want one. There we go. Additional focus player. That's what we want. The corner's going. And that's all of them. Yeah, we're going to rock with that. That should be locked in for a couple weeks. Make sure the playbooks are properly set. Again, I wish we could get through this a little bit quicker by just locking these things in. And then if we wanted to change it, we could go change it. Will we have that for Madden 27? I doubt it. That all looks good to go. Check in on our players. How are we looking? Still a little bit beat up. We'll check through everybody real quick. I want to make sure Cam's doing well. Yeah, Cam's doing well. Offense is good to go. Bit banged up here. Thibodeau, let's get him on a rest. Alexander a bit banged up. Get him on a rest. Get ready to play our final game here of the episode. Or the stream, I should say. So used to saying episode. But I think this has been the longest stream we have had so far on this channel. Let me know your guys' thoughts on it. Offense stays clean. We're just missing Deontay Banks. Gonna have to see how the defense handles that for sure. Gonna see if Philadelphia, the strong arm of Jalen Hurts, they've got speed with Smith. It could be a problem for us. We know Kevin Salmon can't go back there. We don't have the corner depth either for it. We are going to take him outside of a scheme fit here because the zone for him needs to upgrade. He gets the +3. And that has him with a good spot of zone. Again, we focus primarily on zone coverage. At least we did when we were in charge. Can't exactly tell what the DC's calling for us. And talk about depth here at corner. This is why. Because our backup corners are horrific in zone coverage. They are strictly man coverage guys. Probably shouldn't even spend the points for upgrading the zones because they're so low. But while they're here, that's what we work on. That's what we practice. So it just makes sense from that mindset. But I think we're good to go here. Heading into the Eagles game, as it stands right now, we do have a solid 4-game lead on the Commanders as we swept them. The rest of the division is struggling behind Detroit. We have still not overcome that loss. Green Bay also at 7-3. And for our defense, they still remain a top-tier side. I mean, not top 2 anymore. Top 2 in points per game. Number 1 in rushing yards allowed. Top 6 in pass coverage. So, honestly, we're doing great. I want to see how well that stays with the fact that Banks is now out. So, something to keep an eye on more so for next time. But let's jump into one more game here. I think we will start. Actually, let's take this off first. There we go. I think we will start by go ahead and jumping into some quarter sims because we've gone through so many games today. Everything good there. Cool. Jump into Philadelphia. The city of brotherly love, though, very hostile to away teams, even more so to division rivals. And for a second, I thought this was a snow game. That was just some very bright concrete. We got a day game here in Philly as they look to take down the reigning NFC East champions, Super Bowl champions, a team that stole the win from them late in the fourth quarter in the season opener. Since then, we've gone 6-2. Eagles have not fared so well, going 4 for 5. Let's see if they take as early of a lead today as they did previously. It's a field goal for them, but we answer with a touchdown, only for a touchdown for the Eagles to close out the first quarter, the highest scoring first quarter of the day so far. Get on into the second quarter with a drive here that stalls out, though we do get a tying field goal as we have halftime, 10 apiece. And to the second half we go. And once again, a good bit of back and forth here. This is where the defense gets those rankings. And now we look to slow things down into the fourth quarter. A tie ball game, Philadelphia with that ball just by the midfield line. Hurts looks to throw over the middle. It's caught, slipping a couple tackles and picking up about a gain of 9.5. About 180 yards passing for Hurts in this one. And a play action. We'll find the tight end with nothing but space. Dallas Goedert still running around here in Philadelphia. Sets them up inside the 20. Eagles looking to reclaim that lead. With Tripp set up top, one down to the bottom is A.J. Brown. It's a handoff though to Saquon, but he's denied by the edge rushers. Thibodeau slows, Carter cleans, and ultimately it's a loss of 1 for the, once again, top running back here in the NFL. Saquon Barkley enjoying the lack of Cameron Scattaboo in the stat columns this year. The throw downfield, sticky paws. Smith brings it down. I don't know how he was able to hold on to that. It was really good coverage from Nathan Oliver. First and goal. Saquon has the gap, and he's got the Eagles lead. Philadelphia back in front as the home crowd gets into it here. That leaves it up to the offense of the Giants to have to answer. And for us, that's where we look to head, by quickly getting through the point after and the ensuing kickoff. Good kick return would be nice, but instead it's a touchback here for Hoffman. And in fact, let's see how this drive starts. Well, it's with a 3rd and 6 as Malik Johnson drops a pass, and ultimately we look to stall out here. Not what we're looking for, though. A terrific punt sets up a long field. Eagles, though, doing a good job getting away from that end zone and working their way towards midfield, but a penalty on Dickerson backs them up. Sets up a 2nd and 13. And an incomplete pass, Jalen Hurts. 3rd and long. And we get the stop as Zay Flowers only finds 3. We'll look to take the field. They went for it there. Something backtracked. They still come up short. It's 4th and 4. And now they do finally punt the ball. So with now about 2.5 minutes, we take the field. And we're looking to tie this ball game up here. Not a chance to steal a lead here late, at least of yet. 80 yards in front for Jackson Dart. And it's going to be motion. Hayden Little zig motion back up towards the top. Hand this one off to Scadaboo as that's a big block from Tafoya. Let Scadaboo scamper. 11 carries for him in this one, 57 yards, so averaging 5 yards a pop, but just not getting the man the rock. So 2nd and 2. They'll look to pass the ball. It's to Cam out of the backfield. First down for him. Would love to check, and we should check, what his receiving stats are this year as well, as it seems like the offense has shifted more towards the pass this year. Assuming that's on the OC. But a 1st and 10. Eagles rush 4. Over the middle is Neighbors stretching for the first down. As we are inside 2 to play. Not quite past the midfield line here yet. Another 4-man rush. Back to Neighbors. Slips one and almost finds the first down. Jerrion Jones gets the tackle. It's about a 1.5 yards short of the line to gain. So 2nd and 1. Dart. Steps forward, throws downfield, and hooks up with the rookie. Alexander with the catch. And it looks like the cover man injured on the play. Cooper DeJean have to make his way to the sideline. The rookie takes advantage of whatever injury he suffered there. 1st and 10. It's a red zone trip looking to tie this game up inside a 1.5 minutes. Back to Neighbors as he slips one. Has about a gain of 7, and a timeout called here from Coach Barrington. 1 more remains for the Giants. Don't want to leave Hurts, though, much time. We all know what he can do with very little time. Empty set. Dart. Quick throws over the middle. That is to Johnson. First down and goal at the 5. Inside 45 on the clock as well. Sticking with an empty set. Dart has the blitz, and he throws out of it. Will not lose any yardage and also does not lose time as that incompletion stops the clock at 38. 4-man rush here, setting up the screen. It's to Cam, who does not utilize his blocks well, but he drags some defenders down to the 2 for 3rd and goal. Coach called a timeout to choose the right play call here. Watch a slip down at the bottom. No, they don't go that way. Dart under pressure, rolls up top, gets to the outside and throws it away. I think he could have stepped up into the end zone. I don't think 95 had the angle. However, if he did get tackled in bounds, that might have just been game. Instead, it might be game here. 4th and 2. Really, it was 4th and 1. We're going to move that ball half a bit closer, about the length of a football closer. It's going to be inside the 1 as Jordan Davis jumps off sides, or encroaches rather. Decision to make here. Cameron Scadaboo is a bit banged up. I think we try to get the man into the end zone here. 4th and goal. That clock running down. Maryland I. And it's Stevenson. Stopped short. By mere inches, he is stopped short. That one is so close. The ball looked to almost cross the plane. Eagles, in a way, it is flipped. We stole the game late in the 4th. With that stop, they just about seal it unless there is a booth review. No way for us to challenge that. But I just got to get a look from up top here. Just keeping an eye on that goal line. And indeed, he is stopped. The pull back there, Winter's body checks him. And he is stopped about half a yard away, even outstretching that arm. Not close enough. Grenard doesn't even have to do anything. How unfortunate. Just as we broke out those sweeps earlier, the Eagles can just about do it here. As I'm clicking a bunch of random buttons that we shouldn't be. That's not the look we want. We want a safety here. Saquon gets through. And the chance at the safety's gone. Salmon couldn't get the tackle. As I tried to fix the camera there. There we go. Now they're not quite lined up to kneel this clock away, but that clock is rolling. That is your ball game. Philadelphia does not sweep us. I got them mistaken with the Cowboys earlier, but they get their revenge for that week 1 loss. 17-10. And we do not completely pull away from the division quite yet. But that is just about, I believe, every divisional game played for this season. We might have one more. As we turn to wrap this thing up here, we're going to check a couple things before we tie this thing up with a bow. As we have passed 3 hours and 10 minutes here live. It's a long one for you guys to watch. If you're watching post, feel free to jump around if you want. Film room prep, once again, the run game did not get going. Cameron Scattaboo around 12 carries. Had about an average of 5 yards. We're just not getting the man the rock. So we're going to have to still come up with a game plan there. By all means, if you've got an idea, leave it in the comments below. But we didn't get the job done. But before we move on to the end of this episode, we will jump forward to the Vikings week. Next time, I believe we are going to jump through a little bit more true sim games, getting towards that playoff game. Unless things get a little bit more interesting here late on in tight races, obviously playing for the division again, playing for first round buys right now. That is not in our hands. And trying to get our linebacker's head correct, who still thinks he's a rookie. Let's check our schedule. So Eagles are all done. I know the Commanders are all done. And the Cowboys are also all done. So we are done with divisional matchups this season. So let's see what our in total divisional record is. NFC East. Divisional wise, we are 4-2, a combined 6 games. So the Commanders still have to play a game. Eagles still have to play a game. And the Cowboys still have to play 2. So obviously against those guys. As it looks right now, even if the Commanders win their last divisional game, we swept them. So there's no chance for them to get that divisional hand on us. Eagles, we split that. If they win their last one, they go 3-3. Cowboys, if they happen to win their last 2, they're 3-3. So the division right now is very much in our hands, as we do have 2 less losses plus the sweep. So we're talking about a 3-game advantage on the Commanders. And that is with us right now sitting in week 12. So things outside of division could still swing this division. So we got to make sure we lock that up next time. As we look to close things out for today, we're going to take a quick look here at the stats. Obviously, the offense has been horrendous. Dart's quarterback rating has gone up, though, with the new offensive playbook. The completion percentage has gone up. He's more than doubled his touchdowns with not having a single interception. He's thrown the ball 250 times for just under 2,000 yards. Cameron Scattaboo has still less than 100 carries. Remember, last year he had over 300 attempts. So he is way behind what he did last year. His average is still at 4.5. He only has 1 touchdown. He's just not getting the ball. So we either have to edit the playbook to change the play call tendencies to have more runs in certain situations, or we just change up the playbook in general yet again. Leave me your ideas down below for what you think would be best. I did not mean to hit back. It's the college football mindset. As for the receivers, because the other running back's not getting that involved, Dart rushes 33 attempts for 134 yards. Nothing crazy for him. Neighbors is at 40 grabs. Johnson is at 41, so a good healthy split. Very similar total numbers here outside of Neighbors vastly leading us in touchdowns. Alexander's getting some more targets with this new look. Hayden pretty even with him. Cameron Scattaboo does have 21 more catches, 1 more touchdown, a about $150 more yards. He averages 7 yards a catch. So we got to figure out something with Scattaboo. I don't think the Detroit playbook is perfect for him. So we are going to look to change that. What to? We're going to see next time. We need to use him as a true power back way. I mean, they were trying to get more outside handoffs. It's just not his game. So we're going to need to continue trying to tweak this offense in this new style. As for the offensive line, Mbo might be on track for double-digit sacks given up, which is not going to help his free agency. Thomas not having a great start to his year, could be close to about 8 to 9 sacks. All in all, the offensive line, it's given up pressure. But again, we're changing the offense, so I expect that to happen a little bit. Mike Andrews leads us with 66 total tackles so far. TFL leader is Abdul Carter, as he has already hit double-digit sacks as well. Thibodeau also having a really solid season. I think both those guys are in line for a contract extension. We don't have the depth. There's so much other things we have to do. Potential quarterback in the draft. So I don't want to worry about our edge rushers. Alexander's having a solid year. Alakai, those two very similar. Getting a little bit of some sacks from Andrews and Sanders. Interception-wise, only 3 this year. And we have forced 3 fumbles. Of those 3 fumbles, we have recovered all of them. So in total, we forced 6 turnovers through about, 12 games? Roughly? No. Because we are 7-3, so 10 games. So a little bit less than half a game. We need to see some more turnovers, that's for sure. With the safety out, who knows how that's going to roll forward. But we start next time probably with just a straight sim game. The Minnesota Vikings, 2-8. They're a bottom-tier team. Our defense did go up, though, in that passing yards per game, despite our safety being out in Deontay Banks, so that's good. Our points per game, though, did drop a little bit. Rushing yards did drop a little bit. But the offense has got to figure itself out. We are being carried by this defense with the 32nd ranked offense in points per game, 31st in passing yards, and 25th in rushing. A far cry from the number 1 rushing offense we are used to. And with that, the approval rating is dropping a little bit here from the coaches. The fans' approval rating dropping a little bit. The coaching staff as well, as there's some turmoil with the offensive coordinator. Vikings know a thing or two about injuries. Seems like that is stuck with them. But we are going to see a number of linebackers from Coach Barrington's past in that game. So maybe we do jump in for a little bit. But as for today, this is where we are going to wrap it up. We got through a good chunk of the season. We'll probably do about 2 lives or so a regular season, maybe. Still toying what we want to do for postseason. Probably still do lives. It's just, how long is those going to be? Kind of depends on how well we do. We'll be watching all, though, of those postseason games. So that will make them a little bit longer, a little bit more enjoyable. Let me know what you thought about this live stream. If you like this format for this series versus what we were doing, episode-based, where I pre-recorded, did all that, edited it, uploaded as a video, and it's around 35 minutes. Or this long form where we're getting through a lot of this together. As always, leave your input. That's what you're here for. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that bear icon in the bottom right or scroll down at the sub button and tag team it with that bell icon as well. We'll be back next Wednesday. We should be getting back to the normal schedule of this being every Wednesday, college football Monday and Thursday, and then Kent State Monday and Thursday, and then the master classes on Tuesday and Friday. If you guys just want those to be 1 day a week too, let me know. Kent State will continue to be 2 days a week, and we'll just flow with what you guys like best. But until next time, I think that was a pretty good stream and entertaining despite the lack of offense. We'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you being here. Now I'm actually going to hit the end stream button.